Welcome to Patrick Roberts, our new timeline.
Is there anybody out there? Hello, hello. Did I have you turn your mic up just a little bit so you could hear me? And then I shouted in your ear. Not very nice of me, is it? Welcome, everybody. Welcome the name game. Esther, Glenn, Esther, welcome. It's been a while since I seen you. I was just thinking of you today. I'm like, I haven't heard from Esther in a while. I hope she comes in tonight. So I appreciate you stopping in. Crunchy B, welcome. All right, you'll be back later. Yes, I'm going to try to figure out. I had it figured out once, but I rarely go into all that crap. But I will eventually find my way in there and you can get your Miss T account back. Um maybe one of uh one of my mods might be able to do it too. I'm not sure. One of the three angels, maybe. Um, so anyways, I do want to give a shout out to John Thomas that was on the panel the other day, yesterday, I think it was, with me and Crunchy. Uh, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Um, he was on with us and I didn't know where he was going with what he was saying, and some didn't feel right with me. But everything's okay now. Um, it's hard with everything that's going on. We really have to use our discernment, and um, sometimes sometimes we get it wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. You know. So I apologize, man. And what do I want to talk about? Hey, Algo, welcome. Uh my title tonight was do you think that we are living in the end days? Do you guys, because just about every generation almost feels like they're in the end days. Could this be just everything's gonna go back to normal soon here? Maybe? Oh, I thought I was on camera. Yo, hey, it's me. So, anyways, it's me. Who's me? My name is my name is Patrick. I'm Mandela affected. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Uh, I am 10 times above woke. Or are we 100 times above woke? I can tell you the future. And the future is going to be bright. Very bright. A bright, bright, sunny day. Can you hear it? It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunny day. I don't know how that goes. I'll leave the singing to Buzz Chino. But I'm gonna sit here and as I've been tearing my studio apart, or my one wall, as I've been tearing it apart, it's sad to see everything coming down because we've been here for 3 years. You guys remember that one being on the wall? Yeah. Hannibal Lecter. And then we got that was on the wall. And Kit Kat was on the wall. So we had to tear it all down, and now we're to. Oh, where did my tools go? Well, we're down to a few screws left to get this board off. Then once that board comes off, then then we're gonna tear the wall down. No, we're not gonna tear the whole wall down. We're just gonna tear all that brick off there. I wanted a brick studio, so I got me a brick studio. And so anyways, I don't know, does anybody even feel like chatting tonight? I mean, I was thinking about just ending it right now. Um because actually, did I find a place to move? No, I was only kidding about ending it. I'm not gonna end it. Now that's 7 minutes into the damn video. No, you know what? I am so mad. Uh, If the landlord knew he was gonna do this, it would have been nice to have a lot more time because the people that was getting help with my rent, the people that I have to go through to get help somewhere else, are got back to me today finally, and they said it's a 5-month waiting list. And I'm like, great, just great. So, uh, even if I had that choice to rent you know, or buy the van and go that way, I'm kind of being forced into the van. That's the way I kind of wanted to go anyways, but if a house or apartment came up and everything worked out, I would go that way. And then still work on getting a van later on so I can get out and about and travel. Hey, Mystic Hermit. But so yeah, I don't know. I'll just keep trying, keep hitting at it. Though I'm not gonna give up. So yeah, yeah. Even if I had to live in a van for 5 months until my name came up on the waiting list, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's the summer, basically the summer. So I would probably be able to, by the time winter rolled around, my 5 months would be up. So what is this? This is April. So they did put me on. I had them put me on the list. So it started today. So April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, September. So I would be able to get in a place before winter time. So so yeah, so and I've been looking for a van too, and I'm telling you, man, there's hardly anything. I have to like drive a couple hundred miles to get anything, you know, that would be considered a not bad of a deal, you know. Um, Prices are just too high right now for used vehicles. I been doing research and stuff. Supposedly the prices on used vehicles are supposed to start dropping anytime now, and that's because the used car lots are starting to get backed up with their cars because the only reason that they went up so high is because the bigger car lots weren't selling the new cars and getting the trade-ins. So then the used car lots were not able to buy, you know, the cars that they used to be, so they were kind of scarce. So that's why the prices went up. Now they're gonna start dropping because everything's starting to get overflowed. That's just what I heard, though. You know, I mean, I I don't know for sure, but everything seems to be about in the car. Now, as you get newer vehicles, it'd probably be more. But if you're buying a used car right now, you're probably gonna pay about $1,000 more for something. You know, like if something you would have paid $1,500 for before is now $2,500. So uh, prices will drop in July, Mystic Hermit said. He won't have to live on the street. Oh no, I won't. I'll be okay. You know, um, the the people who have donated so far, I have given that. I mean, I'll be okay. So I'm not, you know, there's if it worst comes to worst, I have a way out. So and that's a thank you to you guys, you know, everybody that has donated, and people that have donated in the past, you know, and I hate that, you know, I always get myself in the spots and you guys end up always getting me out of it. You know, I my dad always told me if I didn't have bad luck, I would not have luck any luck at all. You know, because look at what everything that I have been through in six years since I've been Mandela affected. Oh my God. You could do a movie on my life in the past 6 years. We could probably do a movie on a lot of our lives, right? Did you look into the disabled? Yes. Yep. Yes, I just got all the pamphlets and stuff on that yesterday. I got it. Yes, I've been looking into that, and there's a waiting list for everything, and it's like all over 30 days. Even, you know, there's a place where they still have a little bit of C19er money left over for the county or whatever. And they they help people with their first month's rent or the deposit or whatever. So that I could, if I qualify for that, then I would be able to get that at least. But I don't want to get myself in a house where I'm not going to be able to afford to stay there. They may be able to help me get into a place, but at this rate, with the rent being so high and stuff, I just don't see it. There's no way. I just gotta look. I gotta be practical, and um, I know things will work out. I have no doubt things will work out. They always do. Thank God. Okay, you might have more time to stay in your apartment. That's what I was referring. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I've talked to people and there's nothing I can do unless I just stay and then he starts court proceedings and I don't want to go through court and all that. So I would rather not do that. But that's if I stayed, that would be, you know, he has the right not to renew my lease. So, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's like, he owns the property, he wants me off the property, basically. He you know that this is what happens when you stand up for yourself, because he's been trying to get rid of me for a while. Remember the insurrection ordeal about a year ago? I've been going through, packing stuff up and going through paperwork and stuff, and I found the paperwork on that. And that was such a bogus bull. Disabled people have rights, that's all. Yes, they do have rights. Yeah, but he's not breaking any of you know, he's not doing anything wrong. Oh yeah, you didn't know about the oh my God. Yeah, he's got it in for me because I stand up for him. I or to him. He's used to people bowing down to him as soon as he walks in this building. You know, he's barking stuff and people but do whatever, One time he texted me, "Where's the rent?" And it was a holiday weekend. And I sent it out. You have to have it stamped by the 5th. You know, every month it's got to be in by the 5th or you have to pay late fees. So I mailed it out on like the 3rd or 4th, something like that. And it was a holiday weekend. So he didn't get it until, I don't know, around the 7th or whatever. But he was just so mad at me. And I was telling him, I was getting upset too. And I told him, I said, don't worry, the rent money will be in your greedy little hands uh, probably by tomorrow. He didn't like that too much. But I mean, he was telling me, and the guy that moved in downstairs, I didn't really know him, that well. But he's like, and he was moving into the building, and he tells me I gotta choose. Oh, the guy lost his wallet, right? So the landlord's calling me, and he says, I gotta get my friend. I gotta tell my friends about what happens if you're late on rent. And I went, what this guy is like crazy. I'm like, you shouldn't even be telling me about this. He even not call me. He even texts me to tell me that this guy that gives me rides down the hall, who he just kicked out too. He's kicked out. He he was kicked out last month. But anyways, he texts me that he was gonna pay his electric bill. I'm like, why do I need to know this? Why are you telling me this? Stupid, stupid stuff. This guy is off the wall. And I just believe it's just like little attacks. Little attacks. Oh, hey, Jim. Welcome, bro. Uh, Chloe, welcome. Mystic Hermit. Chloe. Texas Danny, welcome. How you doing, bud? Crunchy B. And you know what? You know what? Hold on, hold on. Invite guest. I'm gonna put the link out, guys. I'm gonna put the link out. Here it comes. Bam! There it is. There's the link if anybody wants to join. I'll tell you right now. Where did my speaker? There's my speaker. I think the photo that I put up, where did, oh, I'm off camera. The photo that I put up for my thumbnail is that Wizard of Oz. Do you see that the Scarecrow has a gun there? No. No, 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 no. Not in my reality. But there is somebody that said that who's Mandela affected that says that the Scarecrow always had a gun. And I'm like, no, he did not. So, anyways, um, God is good. I can't wait. I can't wait for Jesus Christ to come back because you know what? He has the right to be mad. We, the human race, I don't know what's wrong with us, but we just can't get it through our thick skulls. Hey, Algo, welcome.
Thank you, Patrick Roberts. What's happening?
Not much. I just figured I'd get on and do a stream because I felt like chatting with y'all. So it's like nothing depressing. We're not on any real subject, so you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I was going to say your title's fairly serious.
Yo.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of. What's the title?
Are we living in the last days?
End?
Yes. Yes.
What's up, Trev?
It is.
I'm just going on the block.
It doesn't have to be though. What you doing, Trev? Driving?
Yeah, I'm just over here going around the block looking for parking.
Ah, okay.
How y'all feeling?
Not too bad. Jim says I can't tonight, bro. I have to be at work at 5 a.m. I'm just listening tonight. A lot going on here too. Stress is high. Just want to mellow out and get some rest. Love you, bro. Call me when you wake up. All right, man. Love you too. Take care and good night. I was gonna sing the good night,
Sweetheart, well, it's
yeah, that's
time
it.
to go. Do,
Do
do,
do
do,
do
do,
do.
do. There you go.
Hi there, Chloe. I'm gonna check in the chat whenever I can.
Chloe. She is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Everybody over here is pretty cool and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think I do have some of the best damn subs because everybody here, we just want to all know the truth, share our craziness that we're having in in our lives and sharing your craziness that you're having in your life. That's what it's all about, right? Algo.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I think
crazy.
we got to reach out to people we've never really met in person in most cases. And if you hang around them long enough, you find out the ones that are really the same, consistently, truly, and ones that are flaky dipshits, and they come and go. But yeah,
Mhm. You know, I have over the years changed my mind probably a million damn times on, what I think's going on and everything. It's a crazy time because I don't remember my aunts and grandma and my great grandma and grandpa ever talking about this kind of anything like this.
well, yeah, but it
So
hadn't happened really either, right?
well, I don't know. I think the Mandela effect may have been happening all our lives, but we just didn't wake up to it for some reason. For some reason, we were just as asleep as everybody else that's asleep right now. That doesn't see it, but yet they're Mandela affected. You know, I don't know.
You maintained a pretty
So
hard focus on Mandela.
what's that?
You maintained a pretty significant focus on Mandela effect for the past few years.
Right, but I mean like what like my theories and other people's theories, it kind of mushes together and I sway from oh yeah, this could be possibly happening. Like that kind of switching
Oh,
my
I
mind.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about do you guys feel like this is absolutely the end days?
Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah. So I guess it's a perspective thing with me, and then when you get new eyes when you're looking through the scriptures and having you know my conviction set on, yeah, dude, like the last days, the end of times, the end of days was a continuously occurring thing with the increase of enlightenment or whatever. The more you know and stuff, it breaks all that stuff down, and we're definitely we're definitely seeing, my opinion, we're definitely seeing the end of you know what was considered days. I
Mhm.
can't even really like expound on that too hard. I mean, you'd have to be inside of me, I guess, with my
That's what
thought
she,
process with that one.
that's what she said. Huh? I couldn't pass that up. The Office, you know.
So you like specifically though biblically end times, last days, Trev? Is that what you?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I don't know how much you've read or gotten into, the scriptures and stuff, but it's clear as day to me that, like if you were to look at, I guess, the end of times in the sense of, time in general or whatever, being a construct and stuff like that, we're in the end of that. And, these days coming to an end or whatever, um, is always going to be occurring in life. You know what I'm saying? We tomorrow's not promised or whatever. People are passing like that. So, no matter how long we've been here, it's been like that, in my opinion.
Ah, that makes more sense. So perpetually, it just is
Right.
always
I
going
mean,
on.
yeah. Yeah, and then there's more, like, I'm just speaking on like some trying to, uh elaborate on my, thoughts or whatever. There, it's just I can go into so much more. There's so much more to talk about with that subject in general, though, actually.
Well, that's why we're here. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, Give me a second, because like I'm just gonna let it marinate for a second, because there's really a lot. So y'all could, I'll tell you, I'll jump back in when.
Yeah, 10-4. I would say, from my perspective, Patrick, biblically end times, not here. Um, People have pointed to prophecy since I was a kid. Colorado used to be a conservative Christian place, a libertarian
Mm.
conservative, and there were billboards of end times when I was a little kid, and people were always talking about it, and that was 45 years ago, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't see anything new pointing to the idea that we're waiting for the Antichrist to appear on stage and all that stuff's going to happen. But that's just from where I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think things are crazy as hell, and we have allowed, as a societies, we stopped exercising our freedom a long time ago. And so when you do that, the people who control the money system and the political system, they notice that. And they're like, well, shit, they're not going to say nothing about this. Let's do the next thing. And let's do the next thing. And so I think that's
Mm-hmm.
more of where we're at in society as opposed to, or in the timeline. I also think it's a little season, so I think that already happened, but that's a longer story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, this whole thing is a longer story. Like, you even talking about all that right there, everything, every point you had there, the Antichrist, bro. Like, it's where is your comprehension level on those things? Like, Antichrist would be an aspect found in all of us if you were to ask me, right? And for it to be appearing on the scene or whatever, that's been very apparent to me for a long time.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know,
agree with you. The
Mm-hmm.
trans agenda and some of the
Well,
crazy shit is
yeah,
against
right,
Christ.
exactly. And,
Money's,
I definitely believe in the biblical. We're definitely in. I believe the time where Christ um, is gonna call us all to His kingdom and wipe everything else off the map.
and why?
I can't see this place going on much longer the way it is now. If this keeps rolling the way it is now,
Yeah,
this place ain't gonna sustain itself.
true. I think we were raised in one of the luckiest times in human history because it was
Yeah, to
so easy.
witness.
Well, it was so easy.
Mhm.
Played outside from dusk till dark. You drank out of the
Right.
hose, you ate the sandwiches, you went to school, you got a
Oh yeah.
girlfriend, you got married,
Absolutely.
we had money, you
Yes.
could get a job,
Yes.
you could get a place to live. But
Hmm.
throughout history, societies have had it much, much harder. And
Hmm.
the US could fall in the way that Rome fell and become a third world nation in 6 months to a year without any biblical anything. It could just roll the way history's rolled.
Mm. Welcome, Fatheads Adventures. Been a while since I've seen you. Welcome, Jennifer. And I think who else came in? Thought I seen. Oh, Cammy. Did I say hi, Cammy? I don't think so. And Texas Danny and Trucker Jim is in the house. Were you gonna say something, Trev? Did you get your
I'm
thoughts
actually just
together?
I'm actually just reading the chat, like trying to follow everything.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
So
We can
shout out.
bounce. We can bounce somewhere else. Talk about something else.
So shout
I'm
out
kind of.
to. Sorry,
Go ahead.
I'm shouting out those in the chat, bro. Shout out to the gym. Shout out to I said the gym. Jennifer, what's up? Algo's in here. Joe, Cammy, we love you. Jenny, Kathy, all y'all wonderful people. Fathead, Chloe, what's going on? I don't know what to say, but yeah, we out here.
Very good. Thank you.
Say, Patrick,
Thank
I
you.
think Crunchy B is backstage waiting.
Nope, I don't have anybody, but I have only Algo and Trev.
Oh, he may have left.
Oh, that's another thing. I'm in the chat still, like on YouTube, like, and no one sees me.
Really? Were
Yes,
you were
dude.
you were in the chat?
I'm always in the chat. If I'm in here, I'm always here. Like yesterday, I was in here. I just didn't jump in the stream or whatever. I always throw in the same thing. You know those emojis.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty funny. I'm still not on that yet.
That's strange. We can't see you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is weird that that's happened to Cammy before, and now I got somebody in backstage. Yes, there is Crunchy. Welcome, Crunchy.
A Crunchwrap Supreme.
So, what are you thinking there, bud?
Oh, sorry, I had my mic muted. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I guess I opened up the wrong StreamYard. I was like in the backstage of some other like show that was already over.
Oh, geez.
Anyways,
Well,
honestly, I think I forgot what I wanted to say. I don't know, just one little thing about like the end times or whatever. It's very obvious to us, right? But I don't know. I mean, we've always lived. We've got to live like any day could be our last day. You know.
yeah, that's true.
We got to at least try to strive for that. Try to strive for that spirit of what's the best we can get out of this day. What's the best we can treat the people around us. Because I don't want to leave. Nobody, like it says, nobody knows the time or the hour, right? And we don't. I mean, we could. We risk our lives every day. We get on in a car, or and it's always. I do believe that it's going to be our time when God says it's our time, no matter how many illnesses or attacks we have to battle. if there's a if God is wants you to live, He's gonna let you live. But
Mm.
I don't know. I was just thinking we shouldn't take the day for granted, our time, and when you think about the end times or whatever, you think about the entire world, and what can we do to like change the entire world? And we've just got to think about the ones closest to us, and stay with the ones, the good ones, and just leave the bad, because leave the bad behind. Because we at least I hold on to. I've held on my entire life, and I'm looking back. I'm thinking I've held on to all these negative habits myself, negative people, friends. I call friends, that have treated me and just honestly messed my life up more. The more I hang on to it. So I don't know. I just think we got to be positive. See the good in people, but also see the bad. You know, we have to. We're ones that actually see the bad. These whatever we call NPCs or whatever non woke people, or they don't see the devil in this world. Well, we do, but we also see God. Um,
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know really what my point is. Just trying to be positive. I got a little high earlier tonight. It's been a while. I took a few hits, and it's not. It wasn't bad. Didn't feel bad or anything. I might still be a little high, but
Was it Delta 8?
no, definitely not. Not touching that again ever.
There,
No, yeah, it's just real natural, God given trees.
Yeah. Delta 9. Awesome.
Well, it's all the cannabinoids that are in the plant that all balance it out. There's like hundreds, I guess. So
Yeah, look at that.
it's not.
is Delta 8 actual flower weed, or is it vape? Just vape.
Delta
Well,
8 is a cannabinoid, and so it could be in the flower. It's in the flower weed, but then you get
yeah,
extracts too, so you can have concentrate of Delta 8
it
if you want.
it's in it's like 0.01% of hemp. Um,
Yeah.
So it's CBD actually, right? Not.
no, it's nothing like CBD. It's very it's more psychoactive than Delta 8 in my opinion, or Delta 9 in my opinion, but it's not supposed to be concentrated like that. It's like if somebody
So
chooses on a
what is okay, so
if
what is
somebody chews on a
happening?
coca leaf. Here's my interpretation of it. If somebody chews on a coca leaf, it's not gonna like mess them up as much as if they snorted an extract of the cocaine. Um,
Mm.
and once you do all that, it's not natural. So,
Synthetic.
So does anybody know what is happening to people that smoke Delta 8? Because I hear a lot of people saying don't smoke Delta 8 or
no,
whatever it's
I
called.
literally only heard Crunchy say don't smoke it from his experience, but like everybody I know that's done it is like about that life.
No, I've heard other people say it's addicting.
Right.
well, so is weed. It can be. Anything can be. I mean, food can be. I've sugar.
Green tea is addicting.
Yeah. It's just
Mhm.
honestly my main concern with it was because I had taken Delta 8 edibles for a while and been fine, but then I switched to a
Mhm.
different brand, and then as soon as I switched to that brand, and I had
Mhm.
taken a lot more than the milligrams that said on the package, but Also, the front of the package said 50 milligrams per piece, but the back of the package said 35. So I don't, it's a little shady. And these things aren't regulated.
Yeah.
So I think they put the synthetic spice or whatever in it. I hallucinated a lot. I wasn't okay for months.
And then speaking
You gotta
about
mic yourself, Trev, because we're getting a lot of feedback coming through your.
Yeah, and it's loud. It's a loud feedback.
Yeah. So if you want to try to go out and come back in, maybe try that. Because we're getting a real loud echo. All right, guys. So Algo,
Anyways.
that was too much hippie talk for Algo. So we gotta bring it back.
No, it
Reel
was
it-
fine. I just don't understand it.
Mm.
Delta 8 and all this stuff, I just don't know anything about it. It
Oh,
wasn't too
yeah,
much. It
no,
doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I was just being curious because I never get the story about why people are saying it's so addicting and it ruins your life, and so I'm like, well, why are people saying this?
It's just another legal form of cannabinoids. They had all the spice back in the day, and I think it is still going around. They keep coming up with new endocannabinoids. They keep coming up with them that I don't understand. Like half of the states are legal now, so it's like, why are we still trying it? It's the devil's drug. Anything that's not natural, even natural stuff. Just
Right.
because it's natural doesn't mean it's good for you. It's just the
Yeah.
dosage is the poison. And
Right.
I if I would have taken maybe one, I would have been okay, but because I don't know, but and I'm fine now. It's just I like to warn people about those legal alternatives, because just because it's legal doesn't mean it's good. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good. I don't know.
Hey,
Just
welcome,
be careful
Floyd.
what you do.
Welcome, Joel. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think crunch would be your point about make the best of today, appreciate today. You never
Yeah.
know when your number comes up is valid.
Yeah. I felt that a lot today. I really enjoyed I was just outside enjoying the sun, and was painting my duck's house, duck pen, whatever you call it. And I don't know. I had some peace that just
Nice.
came over me. It was nice. Yeah.
Those are good days.
hmm Yeah. And I appreciate all of y'all so much.
Now, I am going to tell you guys something right here. I want y'all to get my book called Robert's Rules for Dummies. Robert's Rules for Dummies. Get my book, and I'll tell you 101 ways to blow your nose. 101 ways to blow your nose. Well, you wouldn't think that it'd be that many ways, would you? Well, it definitely is that many ways. We're gonna try to bring Trev back in here in a second. There we go. Can we hear Trev now?
check,
Hey, what's up?
mic check, 1, 2.
Yo.
Yep,
There's a little bit
sounds
of
better.
feedback, but it's better.
I still got feedback. What's the feedback?
No, I don't hear the echo now. So
What? Where did I get this book? I bought it at Goodwill, I think. I think I seen it at Goodwill, and I was like, I gotta get this book. It's got my last name on it, Robert's Rules, and it's Robert's Rules for Dummies, and it talks about breaking down the content of bylaws,
Bylaws.
boning up on terms of art, understanding types of business meetings.
Yeah, Patrick, if you
Pro-
study that and go to any kind of local politics, you'll know what's going on when most people don't. They'll use Robert's rules.
protecting the rights of absentees. So it says, according to Robert's rules, members have the absolute right to expect that nothing except business specified in the call will take place in a special meeting. If I receive notice of a meeting, I still have rights, even if I decide not to attend.
Yeah, so when you run for town council, you'll need that book.
I'm gonna vote. It'll be the first time in my life, but I'm gonna vote for you, Pat.
You know, I thought about that one time of running for office to see if I could change, something. But yeah, that would be kind of cool, huh? So welcome back, Trev. And yes, we tested your mic. You come in good. Please no doing drugs on air. That we can't do that.
That we can identify.
I think he's got a cigar.
Hmm.
Nah, it looks like a.
Who's doing drugs?
Just a cigar. Just a cigar.
Yeah, this
And Crunchy, no drinking
Fine.
Bud Light.
No, I have swore off Bud Light.
So would Coors Light be the same then as Bud Light?
No.
That would be.
No, it's from Colorado.
That would be a
the
wimp.
freest state in the world, right?
That would be a wimpy beer though. Coors Light.
Yeah, you got to get the banquet.
Dude, Coors Light's disgusting.
You got to get the banquet.
I'm a Corona. I like Corona.
Owned by Budweiser.
Oh,
Is it?
So
Yeah.
is Modelo.
Oh, well, I don't drink anymore, so it doesn't
there you
really
go.
hurt me.
But isn't
That's
it
a
made in Mexico? Or is it made
$5
here?
billion mistake. No, it's not. The Corona that we buy is no longer made in Mexico.
It's all tricks and lies.
But
I
that
heard
was a
they
$5
fired
billion
the
stock
lady
escape.
who put him as a spokesman. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I would have fired her. Gee. I bet you, Bud. I would like to know how much money Bud's losing right now. I bet you they won't have any commercials in the Super Bowl.
That was definitely a risky thing for them to do.
Instead of their Heidel or their Clyde horses, they're gonna have six
Donkeys.
six drag queens pulling a carriage or something.
Yeah. No, they just need to put the Clydesdale in dresses. Then they'll be okay.
Be careful who you hire. You hire the wrong person and you give them a little power and rut-row.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some people can't handle power. They can't handle being put in a position, where you have authority over other people, because they take that for granted. They instantly turn into instant power.
I watched
don't
the
want
lady.
to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was done.
I watched the lady talk about herself, and She said, "Well, they hired me to expand the brand, so I know that inclusiveness is the way to do that." And I don't think she's probably not a bad person, and she's probably kind to old people and dogs and stuff. But she's just got her thinking about it is that lefty kind of thinking pseudo communist that doesn't fly with a beer drinking crowd, and they kind of figured that out. So
Hey, Badfish Bear, welcome. And who else? Brenda Mitchell, welcome.
You know, I've always been confused about what is left and what's right. I never put myself in either category. I mean, somebody says something left.
This is
and I'm
right.
like, I don't know.
This is left.
No, this is right.
No, this is right.
Oh, okay.
See how we could be misinformation, miscommunication. Damn it! This is right. Now you go. No, this is right. Damn it!
Yeah,
well, eventually it'll circle back around to itself. Politically, so if you're moderate, you're in the middle. You start to go conservative, they call you to the right. If you're a totalitarian, you're really far right. And then the other direction, if you're a little more liberal, you're left. Once you get to fascist, like the Social Democrats, then you're really far left.
Okay,
and
see,
it's nonsense, but
I kind of always considered myself a libertarian, just someone for your liberties, for your rights,
right.
But does that fall in the same category as a?
That's to the right of conservatism.
Okay, well,
because basic conservatives, they still like government, they still like war. Libertarians are like, go do what you want, and some you could call it even on to the left of liberal. It doesn't really fit on that.
Yeah,
scale.
that's what it like. Is a libertarian a liberal?
Some beliefs, some beliefs are do what you want, but libertarian, you don't like big government, you don't want a welfare state, you don't want that stuff. If you're libertarian, you believe in the free market, you don't believe in government regulation, you don't believe in speeding tickets, you don't want to save everybody, you think everybody should have guns and do whatever they want to do, and that's real libertarianism.
Well,
and most people don't fall into any of those terms because each one's a topic by topic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, do I think everybody should just drive as fast as they want? No. I mean, puts other people at risk, I mean, anything that puts anybody else at risk.
As long as there's no injured party, bro, it's all goody.
Yeah.
$5 billion.
$5
Hey,
billion.
Cammy. Hey, Patrick, I got to go take a phone call, buddy.
$5 billion overnight on the stock
All right. Thanks for coming in, Algo.
CEO who came up with the idea.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy. Take care, Crunchy and Trev and Cammy.
Bye.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah, I got to make a phone call.
Man.
Yeah, we'll see you, Trev. Take care,
All
buddy.
right, it's great seeing
Better
you,
dump his Budweiser stock because they lost $5 billion.
See you there.
Did they lose
five
They lost $5 billion when they
yeah.
fired the lady who came up with the idea to put him as the spokesperson. She's gone.
Wow.
What was she?
$5 billion.
I would love to hear her what was going through her mind.
She posted a video on it. Why haven't you been up on this? She thought that their market was the wrong market because it was the crowd that was college and fratty, and she wanted to get away from that. So she thought that was her. Everybody's been making fun of her, saying she could have went to any like rodeo and thrown a rock and hit 10 people with better ideas than that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It still don't make sense at all.
But yeah, Googled it just to make sure I got the right number for it just before I came on. And then I'm going to choke on my.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. I had
My
a woman today.
eyes
Did
have
you
been
get to hear
going.
what happened to me?
What? No.
No, I wrote it in chat, but it's hard to keep up with chat.
Oh,
I managed
yeah.
to
Yeah, it really is.
announce it to the
What
whole
happened?
now. Trip and fall
What
over the
happened?
rug at work while I was carrying all the baskets. You know how you get shopping baskets.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was carrying the whole rack and everything because we were closing up and we got to drag them all in. And tripped over the rug and managed to fall, but put the baskets where they're supposed to be, but fall into the baskets in front of all the customers. So I got a goose egg up here. I may have a bruise. We'll see if I have a black eye
Oh,
tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
It was
That
great. I
happened.
entertained all the customers. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do something stupid once a year. I'm a klutz. I have to once a year remind myself that I'm
No,
breakable."
it's not your fault. That's the company's fault. You got a lawsuit or something there.
No, are you kidding?
Yeah, you
Um,
could. You could say you're
I
in a
don't
lot of
live in the
pain.
United
Yeah.
States. There's no
Oh,
lawsuit for that.
should be.
There's a big giant orange cone that says "Watch your step." There's
You
nothing that you can sue for.
you
Oh,
can tell
okay.
Crunchy's from America. You're not a true American unless you sued somebody.
I
If
haven't.
you weren't paying attention and you hurt yourself and you go and sue somebody, you're a problem. Because
Yeah.
The
you
problem
are
is you
blaming
gotta have
somebody else
money
when
to
you're
sue
not paying attention,
somebody.
and you want to
You
blame
gotta have
everybody
money to
else
buy
but
a
the one
lawyer.
person at fault. You for not paying attention.
Right.
The whole suing thing is a part of the system that you got to
Wow.
break away from. Any of the political parties, whether you want to support left, right, libertarianism, any of them, that's all the system. If
Oh
you are
no,
loving the system, you are hating God, and you will not make it. So
I
pull your ass out of the
disagree.
system. It's all the system.
I disagree. I think you do have a right to sue somebody if somebody in
You
power.
definitely
We
do,
hurt
actually.
You
you,
know?
Right,
but if
but
it's
you
your
I
fault, if
mean,
you
you
saw,
don't want to go through it. You got to be honest with yourself.
yeah, you
Well,
got to be
yeah,
really honest. If somebody
yeah,
ran you over with a car and you
yeah,
were on the sidewalk, yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. But if
yeah,
you jump out in front of a car while it's on the road and it hits you,
yeah,
that's your fault for being an idiot and jumping on the road.
yeah.
Like,
I
there's
mean,
a difference.
Yeah.
I
they
So the
had
defense
was
would be
paying
like
they
attention,
had
compassionate.
tripped over the mat that I've known has been there for
I mean,
18 years.
counter complaint.
yeah, they had cones out. You've seen that, Matt? Yeah, you know. I mean,
I warn
what?
everybody else not to do it. It's just once a year. I'm a klutz.
Yeah,
And something has to happen. I'll either fall on my face.
but you're doing all right, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I laughed my butt off about it.
that's good.
Hmm.
If anything, it was more entertainment for everybody who was watching. Because, of course, full story.
I would not have thought that was entertainment.
Oh, when
If
I was
I
a
seen
kid,
if I'd seen it, I would not have laughed.
I would purposely trip over things and just to make people laugh.
I have so many scars and bruises on my
I
body
used to
that
do
I
that
get
too,
that
bro.
I don't even know where they come from. That's how often I will bang into things or whatnot. My mind is going 100 miles an hour. I'm thinking about everything else and covering everything
Mm.
else and trying to make sure I'm making everybody else happy because, like you guys were saying, live every day like it's your last. I've been doing that for about 10 years now, trying to
Right.
make sure that I represent properly when I'm dealing with humans because
Mhm.
that's not just another person, that is also a son of God or a daughter of God. And you must treat everybody like that, whether you like them or hate them.
Right.
You might be misguided and completely deranged and demonistic, but that's still somebody with a demon in them. They're still a child of God possessed by a demon. And if you're hating on them, then that's the wrong area to hate on. Hate on the demon that's possessing them.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
lots of demons.
Yep.
Mhm. Yes.
And I am
You're
so not
so
in the loop
right.
on what all the names are, which it's so much easier to exercise a demon when you know what demon you're dealing with and its name.
Mhm.
Because if you call it by name and you demand it properly to leave, you can.
Is the demon the sin? Is that its name?
Well, every sin that there is out there that you can have will have a demon that kind of controls that. Like there's a sin demon for like lust and sex and all that. That one, there's a demon that feeds that. There's one for greed. There's one for power. There's one, and I don't know their names.
So well, that's their name. Is
No,
greed.
they have an actual name. They physically have names. And if
Oh,
you know what their physical name is, you can remove them a lot easier.
I don't know.
But I have to actually go back and do more research on that. But it's one of those things, it's not something everybody really knows, because how many people are experienced in exorcisms?
Mm-hmm.
Very few are actually taught those skills and are explained it fully.
I had a friend, my
And anybody
childhood pastor. He said he did exorcisms, and
I found out that you can't even do an exorcism unless you're a follower of Christ.
Well, that would be, yeah.
Exorcism won't work.
If you're not a follower of Christ, then you don't think you're demon possessed. You think you're mentally deranged and you need a psychiatric.
No, but what I'm saying is, I've seen TV shows or YouTube videos of people who are telling other people that they can release a demon out of a person, and they're not even any type of like priest or clergy or anything, any type of
Well, they might be able to if they're a
connection.
witch, because they're not really releasing them from the demon, but just telling the demon to back off so it looks like they're working.
Mhm.
Because both sides
Okay.
deal with it. But it's one of those things like that. And consider it this way, absolutely every one of those people that are doing the evil things we're doing now have a demon harping on them that are making them do things, or they get punished and tortured. So actually, I have feeling for them. Not enough that I condone their actions or anything. My heart aches that I know they're suffering immensely with a great torture in their soul that they haven't figured out. And
Mhm.
the problem with that is they still have more self-preservation for themselves than anything else. Whereas
Mhm.
most of us, I'm pretty sure all of us, but I won't speak for everybody else, I'm sure most of us, if somebody else was at issue and we had to, we would risk our own lives in a heartbeat to help them. And we all probably have at some point or another, and not even thought twice about it, didn't even think about it till afterwards and went, oh, well, that was like actually, I should have maybe thought about that a little more before I did that, but whatever, it worked, whatever.
Mhm.
And they don't think that way, so that they've got an extra oomph. So that's why they're having a hard time kicking that demon. Whereas once you're willing to say, okay, I'm not ready to go right now, but this person needs help more than I need to live to finish getting to the point of perfection where I think I'm going to make it, or whatever it is that's holding you back, we're willing to give that up a lot easier. And that's one of those shining light
Mhm.
qualities that really hurts them, because they haven't managed to twist our soul to sell it to the devil. Because once you're willing to give up everybody else to save your own ass, that's where you've sort of hit that you strayed too far thing. And you can still come back from it, but not until you correct that thought. But
Did you read what Jennifer wrote in the chat, Crunchy?
About her son.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I should ask what substance it was or details about it, but I know, that meth gets a hold of people very bad. If that's it or not, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen that take a hold of people, and what's strange is it doesn't really kill people. It just makes them destroy themselves.
It
Their
destroys
lives.
their body.
Yeah. But it's not like the opiates. The opiates just straight up kill them. These other ones, it's like I've seen that they go against their family. They turn around and just and it's funny because you can always when I smoked weed every day, like I haven't, it's been months. I just did tonight, just took a couple hits just to see. I don't know really why. It's pointless every time I do. It's like it doesn't last long. It's not bad, but it's not. Anyways,
Do you know what you're smoking?
Yeah.
yeah, it's real weed.
Well, I'm not talking about it's weed. And what kind of weed?
I think it's a sativa hybrid. I don't know.
Okay, well, if you want, switch over. Try an indica.
Oh yeah, indicas. I always like that better, but
I didn't even care for weed until I was like 48 when I was first Mandela affected.
Well,
Something changed, something changed that I didn't get the same effect that I got for 48 the first 48 years of my life every time I tried weed. It had the same effect on me and it freaked me out. So I finally said after the Mandela
do
effect,
that. They make you paranoid.
I was in a lot of pain. So I said, well, I'm going to give weed another try. And I was like, holy shit, I don't feel that effect anymore. That was freaking me out.
yeah.
Now I'm able to do it. But ever since Raleigh came in and told me I need to sober up and stop drinking and stop doing weed, I'm like, well, I got one of them beat because I don't drink. So, but I think I do need to stop smoking weed and see if my body if I can handle it with,
Yeah.
not having to do it for pain
It's
and just stop it, you know.
It can
I
be an
want to.
addiction. It's not the worst thing in the world, but just like
Hmm.
food can be an addiction. It's
Anything that
and
makes you feel good is an addiction in your brain. It can be if you've got an addictive personality because it
yeah.
sets off dopamine, which is addictive.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really think it's dopamine. I think it's
Pleasure
I do.
makes your
no,
brain emit
it's
dopamine.
What
It's not just the marijuana gives you dopamine. It's that you're
what I
experiencing a fondness.
what I get out of smoking marijuana is it completely relaxes me. And I'm like, that's how I just want to be. I want to be just relaxed.
I have a hard time when everybody just talks about it so blandly like that. We've had it, well, decriminalized here for so long that we have so many different strains that I could give you a strain that'll make you paranoid. I can give you a strain that'll put you out, give you a strain that'll give you the munchies, give you a strain that'll knock you on your ass and make you feel no pain, and give you a strain that'll make you very philosophical. They have thousands of them. That's why I was saying,
Yo,
like,
can you give me that strain that's gonna knock you and like make you feel no pain?
we got to come to Canada. I can't mail it across the border.
Nah, just name it
I
for me.
also
Yes, you
think,
can. Send me some seeds.
you know what's really weird
don't
too is
tell it
when
to you.
I
You have to go to
smoke.
the dispensary and you go talk to the guy and you tell him what you want
Listen,
and they'll give it to you.
you know what I
What's
found
the
really
name of
weird
them
too
that are?
is when I smoke weed. Listen, when I smoke weed, when the weed will go to a certain spot in my body and it'll point out where I'm feeling pain, so it's telling me there's something wrong there. I'm being pointed to that area, but I already know because I have pain there, so I already know that there's a problem. But do you
What weed
guys
does
get
is
that?
it helps you focus and concentrate.
Yeah.
Do you guys get that where
Yeah, that
like
definitely happens to me. Bro.
My problem is my lungs, and so if I smoke, it makes them hurt more. And then it's like, oh, if I focus on that, then it's like, so I just do
That's
everything.
in the move to Canada. You can get edibles.
Yeah.
I did fine with like
Yes,
real weed
yo, I make my
edibles,
own.
but just in my state, it's not legal. So they had that Delta 8 shit. And so I was like,
Where in
oh, great.
Canada is?
And I was advocated
Wait,
for
where are
it
you
for
at?
Kentucky. And I was an advocate for
Okay.
that Delta 8 stuff for quite a while. 10, 11, you know, all those
Is
other
it no good?
my microphone headphones, sorry. But the fact that it's not regulated and natural weeds just perfectly fine. I don't see any reason that the other stuff should be legal, because it's not natural to take 0.01% of a chemical and make it 100%. It's just not. It's totally. It was a hallucinogen.
Yeah.
It is a hallucinogen, and I'm not like all for, or I'm not all against hallucinogens, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a fine line, and we should know, but we're kept in the dark about a lot of things, and they know, and they put these things out on purpose. Like they put out all those other synthetic cannabinoids on purpose, in my opinion. Like they flooded the street with opioids, and then they took them all away, and then now they have the harder things on the street that is killing more and more people. It's all by design.
Yeah.
It's all
When
by
they took that stuff
Yeah,
away,
no
they killed a
shit.
lot of people.
I was reading Jennifer's comment about
And they're
some
mad at the ones like us who don't
night
fall for
terror
that shit.
and can't move, and that's a succubus demon. You
But
need to pray every
what?
time it happens. Pray.
What did you say?
I was talking about the comment that Jennifer made earlier. I was reading the comments, and she's talking about how there were night terrors and he couldn't move or call out for help. And I know people who have had that, and the only way I've known of to get rid of that is honest to God, real prayer.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
called out. I
yeah,
had that happen to me.
That can happen in your head. I get that he can't physically speak. He's got to do it in his
I
head.
called on Jesus Christ
Mhm. Well, that's
and
right.
it unfroze me.
And over, and he's got to wholeheartedly do it. And be real when you do it. You can't just fake it.
Yeah.
You gotta pray.
Yeah. Well, back then I felt everything because I was so damn scared that I was like, seriously, Jesus, please get this thing off me in the name of, get off me in the name of Jesus Christ. And all of a sudden it just went, I just was able to move my arms and everything and get up. But it felt like I was, for me, it felt like it was sitting on my chest. And I was paralyzed. I think they call it paralyzed sleep or something like that. But yeah, that is
sleep paralysis.
yeah, that is a scary feeling, I'll tell you.
When you're trapped,
Yeah,
and
man.
you can't move. Yeah,
That's pretty much how I felt when I was in the coma. I was screaming for them to wake me up and get me out of it so I could talk and everything. And I was like screaming in my own mind. I was the only one that could hear me. It
Where do
sucked.
you think pharmakia came from?
Yeah. That sucked. I never want to be like that again.
I've watched a few videos where people have woken up after being in a coma for like 10, 15 years. And they've overheard all sorts of conversations. They were very aware for all that time. And most people thought they were brain dead. And this one kid actually told his mom, I heard you say you wished I was dead.
Oh, wow. That's sad.
And yeah, that broke her heart because she didn't realize but you can't do anything about it because they have you so sedated. That's why I'm
Right.
leery about all these people pulling the plug on people because, like,
Yeah, right,
they keep
right.
saying they know, but considering they can't find the soul, I don't know if they know.
Yeah. And that sucked when
Discovering these drugs.
they're drugging people and during the C19er, they're drugging people to get them put on that machine. You know, you drug them up and then then they say, oh, they're not getting enough oxygen. We're gonna have to put them on a machine, and you know that's when they get you. That's how I heard they got a few people, anyways.
What broke my
But
heart is how many people that were doing that thought they were actually doing the right thing.
yeah,
Because
right,
most of the staff did not know that they were harming people. They
right,
honestly thought this is how you treat it. That's what they were told,
Yeah.
that's what they were taught. They weren't evil. A lot
Yeah.
of people want to blame them all. They honestly thought
right.
they were doing the right thing. The ones who figured out what actually worked got suppressed.
Right.
But
No, I totally agree. Yeah,
it's,
And
exactly.
that's what's sad is, I mean, like
They were
90% of the
given the
population.
wrong advice the whole time.
but
Yeah.
usually
they're-
how it works, it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's so true.
It's just we tend to get ahead of ourselves. We want to think that we're smarter. And so we can't be wrong. And we got to be right. And we know nothing. So I don't know why we keep trying to be arrogant and think that we can do things
Right.
that our
I know.
ego is getting in the way. And a
Right.
lot of people are educated to run on that ego. And for job's
There's
sake,
a
you
lot.
kind of have to. You're supposed to talk your best, worst quality. You got to talk yourself up. They tell people to pad their resume, like they gear everything up for this.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I see people where they completely run off their ego, and they say they've lost their ego, and they're in themselves. And I'm like, your ego has never been more big. You know, you didn't lose your ego. You
We've just
made it
forgotten what
bigger.
that voice is supposed to be used for. It's supposed to keep you from doing stupid stuff like jumping off the top of a building or doing dumb shit. Because your ego is going to want you to stay alive no matter what.
Mm,
Self-preservation. But we're not supposed to let it run our whole lives. This is not your smart brain. This is not your smart brain. Both will lead you astray and cause grief. The only one that doesn't lie to you is your gut and God. And I think the
Is
gut
your what?
instinct,
Oh, your gut.
ego
your
is
gut
when you
instinct, I
feel
think
like
comes directly
you're
from like the
above
Holy
and
Spirit,
beyond somebody
which is why it
else.
feels like fluttering butterflies in your stomach because like it's the last ditch effort.
Ego is getting praise for something that you really didn't earn. You know, running off your ego is, um, you know, thinking that you're trying to pass yourself off as such a good guy and a loving guy when really you're
We're all
evil
sinners
because
trying our
you're.
best to better ourselves. Probably as close as we can get to being good.
Yeah, I do. You're right. I agree. I agree. I agree.
I'm horrible. I'm trying to read all this. It's not like I'm trying to read and follow at the same time.
It's hard, yeah. I go every once in a while and scan a little bit, but I've only caught a very little bit. So if I've missed anybody's
My
stuff or I've misinterpreted something somebody said, don't get
my
too
eyes
Jennifer was
hurt.
like, "Yo, Trev, you're making me dizzy." I'm
So
sorry.
nobody's really reading the chat because my eyes hurt so bad I can't stand
it's
looking
so
at the
hard. I have to
screen.
hold the phone out here and then I
I
have to
can read
squint.
it.
I'm sure you guys are laughing at me because I know the camera still works.
Hey Claire, welcome. Holy shit, haven't seen you in a long time. How's everything going? I haven't seen the chat. Just I wake up angry because I've actually woke up that day. Oh wow. We need to send some prayers for Claire that she gets to feeling a lot better. We love you, sister. Hey, don't be such a stranger.
Right. I should do some more shout outs then. Shout out to the name game. Shout out. We see Floyd in the building. Shout out. What? I guess I didn't do
Hey,
Brenda. Bad Fish
Chloe,
Bear.
Chloe is right there. Hey,
That's
that's
the
Chloe.
Preliminal, I think.
Hey,
Yeah.
Patrick. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
Prelim.
I haven't seen Prelim in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
Prelim,
up,
what's going on,
Prelim?
bro? He's been posting videos on YouTube.
Prelim be my brother from another
Shout
mother.
out, Joe.
I had something I
My
wanted to
brother
say
from another mother.
like 30 minutes ago. It was about
There.
the names, I guess. Cammy and Jennifer like reminded me, and I was thinking like I think each substance, each like molecule has its own like entity. Because I mean, the definition of an entity is something in and of itself, and we are composite entities, right? We take in water, or like mostly water, but we have all these other everything we take in. You know, you are what you eat, or smoke, or you
I'm
know,
glad. I'm
whatever.
a big piece of cheesecake.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel that way, man. I mean, I love pizza. Pizza is like my my
I'm a
one of my
big bowl of
biggest
soup
sins. I swear, and
with a
and
white
when I
salty
do,
cracker
when
on the side.
when I eat like a big greasy pizza, I will feel that grease just like coming out of my pores, you know. Um, but oh, what I was gonna say earlier is like when I used to smoke weed every day, I would be able to just look at a person and be like, ah, yeah, you're one of me. You know, I would just know if a person smoked weed or not. And it's the same way if you go to a bar or whatever. All the drunk people, they either get along or they're fighting, but they know who they are. And when a drunk person's around a bunch of sober people, um the sober person knows that they're not alike at all. You know, they know it's like, well, it's I'm not feeling your vibe. Because but if they had a few beers, they would connect because they're on
You
that.
know,
It's that same entity taking over. It's partial possession. I think we take in all, whether even it be through media. It doesn't have to be like a chemical, but certain
I'm
medias we
gonna,
take in will relate in a spiritual way, you know.
Choices you
yeah,
make.
Shout out to Claire.
I'm learning that if you fast, you will get a better connection to God.
I felt great when I did, but my problem is I completely stuffed myself after my fast, and I didn't,
Okay.
and then I just gained more weight afterwards, you know. So it was like
So,
I
yeah,
didn't.
I'm gonna try to do the fasting.
You got to be
First,
careful with
pretty
it
soon.
when you got diabetes.
Yeah, and there's ways to do it.
Yeah,
Watch your sugars. And
right.
a lot of the people who fast don't like fast and only drink water. They fast, and what they do is they go on liquids, but only healthy thing liquids. So, like when you need to eat, make yourself a healthy smoothie.
Yeah.
Take in the minimal amount of calories and sugars you need to keep yourself stable.
Yeah. I mean, I usually my sugars usually run high. So the only way I ever end up with low blood sugar is if I if I ended up taking too much insulin. And actually, last night when I started feeling a little uneasy, I just went and got something to eat last night while I was on air, or while we were doing the stream, because I
Mm.
was starting to feel.
Mm.
Yeah, I usually throw up and stuff before it gets too, them are
I
my
wanted to
warning signs.
I wanted to say something last night when you were talking about that, about the statins or cholesterol, whatever. My dad got on them and he lost like so much weight.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and like in a way, you'd think that could be a good thing, but it's like now it's like he can't go without them. It's like an addiction, but it's like there's always this rebound effect.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not that he's like mentally addicted. He's like physically like he'll have this rebound effect if he starts taking them. So
right.
um, there's always natural ways to help yourself, and it's mostly through diet, and it takes a lot of discipline. I mean,
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of discipline, that's for sure.
and that's hard. I
Now
mean,
there's money because they made
Yeah.
food so stupid.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm learning all this,
food.
I wish I would have started this a long time ago,
It's
because it just seems like I'm not gonna have enough time to learn everything, that I need to learn.
Sure, you will. I mean, you're out
it's
here.
just so
You
hard to
actually
eat
started.
healthy.
But you
Yeah,
I
trust
mean,
Jesus
it
and
should.
He will provide for you what you need when you need it.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, you're
If
right,
you need
Cammy.
to know it,
It's
it'll
just.
be presented to you.
Oh, I had a question. Speaking of food, have you ever had brie cheese?
I sell brie
yeah.
cheese.
Okay, well,
Um,
so I got some the other day just because like it was marked down, and it's got this white stuff all around it.
Huh?
Am I supposed to eat that?
Can
is
most
it like
sort
is
of
it
the
like wax? Is
I
it
it's the
like
outer
waxy?
protective coating thing on it to keep it from.
is it
If
edible?
no, you usually throw the wax part away.
I don't know. It felt like cheese. It kind of tasted like cheese. So I was like, I don't know.
You've seen it.
I
People
can't.
don't like it
Is it
because
the
they think
small
it's like
little?
mold, but they're morons because that's what cheese is mold.
I don't know. That's one of those like expensive things that I never buy, and I was like, well,
Do they come individually wrapped? Like they're about
yeah.
the same?
Sometimes they have little ones, but this one was about like I don't know. Hold on, let me
It's
turn
fine.
it.
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
It was like about that
A
big.
round container?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I know exactly which one you're talking about. We sold them. Yeah, I had to talk so many people through it because they're like, "What is that? Is that mold? Is it going bad?" I'm like, "No, that's what comes."
I knew it wasn't mold. I just didn't. I don't know what it was. I know it wasn't the
They're all
cheese.
panicked.
Oh,
Some am I gonna get?
speaking of mold, that bun
I'm
is
pretty
still
sure you
sitting
could
on
get them in
top of my
different,
refrigerator from February, and it still has no mold.
different
Like a
packaging. So they're
cheap
gonna package
bun,
it
like
for you.
McDonald's burger bun type bun.
I wanted to.
It was from Walmart.
So people
It
go
was
out.
wanted
from
to.
their bakery.
It's
I
got.
wanted.
It'll be moldy, but it won't mold.
I wanted to talk about this. I'm sorry.
Take years.
The name game said that their son was labeled schizophrenic. I think that's a very wide spectrum. I think I've done a lot of research into it, and I have been labeled schizophrenic, but I'm not. I mean, I don't hear voices. I don't usually have delusions, but that's all your perspective of what your belief is. You get to call the Mandela effect a delusion, but we know it's not. So I don't know. I don't know how bad. If somebody is saying I think it's demonic. I think we all have. I think we're all being attacked every day. Um, and the voices can like sound like our thoughts. Uh, we've all had bad thoughts where like it comes to your brain. You're like, why am I thinking that? And if you feel bad about what you're thinking, you think you thought it up, it might not be coming from you. Um, I don't know. It's just like throughout my entire life, it has been a in and out thing. Ever since I kind of woke up, as you would say, it's been easier to recognize what's coming from me and what's not. But when I was like a teenager, I thought it was all me. These negative thoughts, and it can raise into external voices. But anyways, my point is I think it's a spiritual battle we all go through, and there's a different depends on how much spiritually you are being attacked, to where they call it schizophrenia. But see, I knew, and the drugs will make you even worse. They might like calm the symptoms for a short amount of time, but it just breaks your brain even more. I don't know. There's a Jerry Marzinsky I've been listening to. He's a doctor, whatever, psychologist that treated people he talked, he's like a therapist that talked to people in prisons, and they had like killed people, been on meth and stuff. And he was like, yeah, meth is like one of the biggest things that like invites those demons in. And when he first started, he didn't realize that these were like demons. But as he started talking to all these people, he realized like this is like the same pattern that keeps repeating in all these different people, that like it's a spiritual outside force that and they would say things and know things that like wouldn't be able to known if everything was just a hallucination. Like this one guy, he was hearing voices. The voices told him to drive like 400 miles and to go to a pot field. He was like, you drive here. He followed the voices. He turned wherever they told him to turn, and drove him to this huge pot field. So he got all this pot, sold it, and bought more meth. And there's no way that could be possible if it was a hallucination. It's just but there is the medicine. My point is the medicine, or whatever, the psychiatric mafia, that's not going to cure them. That's not going to help them. It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. And I pray for your son. That's all I say.
So the people on meth, you're saying that there's nothing medically that can be done to help them, that it's strictly a spiritual battle? Is that what you're saying?
Well, as she said in this comment, when he's reading the Bible and drug free, he does great, eats well, exercises. But we all have these demons.
Yeah.
That
I was just trying to understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah. No, I don't think the medicine is the way to go. It's just my. And it's been proven. We were told my entire like teenage years. I was put on antidepressants when I was 14, and and my brain wasn't even developed then, and I knew something was wrong with this. Like I had lost myself, my soul. I felt so disconnected. I started saying mean things. I told my dad, I was like, I could hurt somebody and I wouldn't give a shit, because I wasn't depressed. Sure, it caused the problem of depression, where I wasn't depressed, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't I wasn't feeling alive at all. I wasn't me, and I didn't have any regard for just not myself. I didn't care about anybody else, and I would do and say horrible things. And I told my dad, I was like 14 years old, and I was like, I feel like I could hurt somebody, and I wouldn't care. Like, you lock me up from prison for the rest of my life, you keep me on this drug, I wouldn't care. So he was like, okay, you should stop taking it. And that was probably the best
Well, that's what it's at.
decisions I could ever make, and
Yeah.
those antidepressants and antipsychotics, they're the two most prescribed things in this country, and they're just there to they literally shrink your brain, cause brain damage. It's just
It numbs your empathy.
yeah, numbs your empathy. I didn't care about anybody. Yeah, I wasn't myself, and that's
From an
part of
antidepressant.
what I am is empathy. That's a big part of who I am. Is you. You are a big part of who I am, and
And that's why you were feeling bad, because you're empathetic. And
yeah,
so you were feeling other people's stuff, and so they numbed you out. But then you could be a psychotic, evil person because you didn't really give a crap.
yeah. And I mean, I guess people can be born like that or whatever, but I just don't understand how that's like normal. Like, that's the way they want us to feel, is all separated from each other, and
Come to the upside down.
yeah, just have be all narcissistic. Like, if I would have been able to like keep taking that drug or whatever and learn to control my thoughts, and then like, hey, hold on, all right, this is going to put me in prison, but this is also going to, and I could have acted, because like I was also like a very charismatic person on it, and I could have talked my way out. It wasn't me. I'm not a charismatic person. I'm a shy person usually, unless I've been drinking, and then that goes into the whole entity chemical thing too. But yeah, why is that legal? And it's what's my point?
Good thing I've never been on those things. That would be tragic.
Oh man, they're bad. I did take an antipsychotic when I was in so much pain. I told them, like, look, I'm losing sleep every night. I might sleep for an hour, just like because my body's so wore out. I crash for an hour, but I'm in so much pain. And instead of giving them pain pills, they let's say, here's an antipsychotic, and sure, it knocked me out for 15 hours. And I was like, well, that was great. So I'd stay awake for a few hours, and then I'd take another one, pass out for another 15 hours. There was no way to live. And
And the real question is, you don't remember what
Hibernating, bro. What the?
were you sleeping?
what'd you say, Cammy?
So the real question I have is, you were taken out of control of your body for 15 hours. You assume you were
Yeah.
sleeping. But were
Yeah.
you sleeping? Or did something else get to take control for 15 hours of your body?
Could have.
That's why I asked that.
I have no
My
idea.
sister has been
I have
in
no
therapy
idea.
and on
So
meds
15 hours.
her
That
entire
sounds
life.
crazy.
She has 5 personalities. When she goes to sleep, another entity takes over. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Sometimes she wakes up and her house is clean and there are pies baked. Sometimes her boyfriend is huddled in the corner, cowering.
Yeah, that's not.
How do you
Yeah,
take over?
there's a different entity that takes us over, and these drugs, and it's in our food, and but they're subtle. They want it to be subtle usually, but if it's a big reaction, and we know it's like, oh well, that's just a side effect, it'll pass or whatever, it'll take a month to start working, so keep taking it. And then they convince us to keep taking it for an entire month, and then by that time we're either addicted to it or we're possessed completely. And
Yeah.
I feel I wanna talk about happy stuff, but there's just this world is just and there is stuff, there is stuff like I said, I painted, I went out, chilled with my ducks today, went out and painted a shed, and it was great. But it's just like another distraction. It feels like sometimes it's like there's so much. If I think about it, how we're being attacked, left and right, we're being attacked spiritually. It's not the
Yeah.
drugs physically.
They're scared.
Yeah.
They only attack those they fear. You notice there are some running around and have no idea what's going on, and they tell you you're crazy. It's because they're so far gone right now. They don't need attacked. If you're being attacked, that means you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, but still, that's not. It sucks.
I'm gonna be
You
eating
know? It's like yeah, it sucks. I mean, when I woke up around 2016, the Mandela effect and everything, the UFOs, the government, and the juice and all that, it was just yeah, I was being attacked, and I still feel like I am in different ways every day, as we all are. It's just and then now what Patrick's going through with his to manager or rent or whatever, trying to that's totally uncalled for. It's just another attack, and I'm sure Patrick can feel those demons and those people that are just like attacking him for no reason. He's been a good tenant, hasn't caused any trouble, but they just want to say like,
I
"Oh, I
can feel the demons everywhere around here."
smell weed or something." It's not about the weed. It's just they want to find something they can like physically, legally get you for.
She smelled the incense burning.
Crazy.
So he said, so it's common sense that you be smoking weed if you're burning incense.
No, it's not common
So-
sense. I'm
Well,
about to buy
that's
some
not
fizzy
even
pop
true.
incense. This stuff smells
Right.
good. It's not common sense.
Right.
This stuff smells,
So I was convicted on common sense.
yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that
Right.
way.
But the trouble is, like, if you try to take anything to court, it's all those demons are in court, and it's in the judge, it's in the cops, it's in the so
Right.
it's in the lawyers, it may be in the attorney that you paid for. It's just,
So
and they're all buddy. It's
you have to go broke in order to defend yourself. You
Yeah.
have to go in debt.
yeah.
It sucks that you have to pay
come up with
money
something.
to defend yourself.
We should.
And without the right representation, you're going to go to jail, even though you're innocent, Just
Yep.
The right representation. Is that what we're talking about, bro? We could represent ourselves.
And that's not always the best way to go.
well, yeah. I mean,
It's going to take time.
of course, I've been
It's definitely
learning a
always the
lot.
best way to go. I will guarantee you it. I'll guarantee it.
Well, if you're innocent, maybe.
But I gotta.
But
exactly. That's all it comes down to. Like,
yeah,
that's
And
all it
if
comes
you're
down
not-
to. The truth. Like, if
the truth. It comes down to the truth.
exactly.
But
evidence,
people
admissible evidence.
people that have done wrong,
They're gonna
get
do
away.
whatever they're gonna do.
They get away. I
They're
watched
gonna
this.
do whatever they're gonna do.
I watched this whatever true crime thing. She shot her husband, and she's just tried to play the battered wife syndrome, which she wasn't at all. She was like, in the interview or whatever, she was like, yeah, he's just mean to me, he yells at me, and I'm like, and she got off completely. They just completely dismissed it, and I was like, so she wasn't found guilty, she wasn't found innocent, they just completely dismissed the case. I was like, what and this is I guess a sexist point of view from me or whatever, but what husband has ever said, my wife was a bitch and she yelled at me, so I shot her, and just dismissed. Okay, oh well, she yelled at you. He never beat her. He just yelled at her. And yeah, mental abuse is mental abuse, but and it take a big toll. I understand that. I'm not downplaying that, but legally, I mean, you can leave. It's not. I don't know. It's just the legal system is just messed. It's messed up. This world. This
Okay,
whole.
but that would all be that's all on a individual level. You know what I'm saying? Like the corruption is going to exist because individually, like those people are going to have the corruption. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the corrupt part of the system, right? So like if you go and read how the system is actually constructed on paper or whatever, it's actually set up pretty well. So it's
On
on the people,
paper,
the responsibility, the whole.
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
people don't. Yeah, on paper it looks nice, and that's the thing. They have all these different words that mean different things legally. In
You got to
English, it
use it.
means, but we don't know that, and then you got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars
So we got to learn it.
just to get a divorce. It's like, well,
Why'd you get married?
yeah, don't get
Or
married.
state marriage.
Yeah.
State intervened marriage.
I never understood it. Why do we need to bring pen and paper into this transaction? It's like bring the state into it. It's like this is
between
between
paper on the one-to-one, but you don't got to bring the state
this is
into
between
the
you,
situation.
the woman, and God. There's only three people.
So hold that as a
Government doesn't need
hold that in between y'all.
anything to do with it.
You know what I'm saying? And then actually write it down too if you want. That's gonna be better. Have your own agreement or whatever on paper.
The
You could
chat
do it
is
without
lit
paper.
up
Have
tonight.
a verbal
You go, guys.
agreement.
Welcome, Machine Head 69. The name game.
Telling you, and
What up?
you hit it on the
Name
head too, Crunchy. He's talking about like we don't know it, so we gotta go and know it. We gotta figure out these things. Like we have the internet and stuff like that. Right now, it's just a time where it's crazy because you can get all different types of
Name
information or
game
whatever
is
right here.
Mrs. T, just
You gotta
so you
use
know.
that.
Yeah, and
There's
you have
resources.
to you have to print it out. That's one thing is about everybody has a phone, right? But we don't have printers usually.
Mhm.
And it's like I gotta go to the library to get a printer. You're like, who has a printer?
I gotta go back from.
One is in the chat room.
But doctors, yet doctors are a point of authority. Just like you have to like prove to them, look, like I did my research because you weren't helping me. I don't know, man. Just in the past 3 years, this happened to me. I had to like a doctor told me an antibiotic couldn't hurt me, and I had to pull it up on my phone and be like, "Look, this is what happened to me. Will you actually research it?" And he's like, just walked out of the room, and so I couldn't walk. I wheeled myself out of there crying. I was like, I came for help, not to be ridiculed and fucking lied to, and I just wheeled myself out of there because I realized I was talking to a demon. And there's not any way he could help me anyways. I was already hurt. It wasn't him that hurt me. It was just the same entity. These pharmaceuticals, man, I don't know. I could go on about it all night, but I'm not going to. We have to trust in God. We have to trust that it's faith, faith, trust, and it's so hard when you think like, why would God put us through all these trials, tribulations, whatever? I mean, what we're going through, it's just it's a test. It's got to be a test. I mean, it's not a school, and it's not a playground. It's not heaven. It's not hell. It's just this is the testing ground. I think. I guess this is testing ground. Because every time I've like given less faith in God and like, oh, I'm going to go to a doctor to heal me, I just get hurt worse. Or a cop. How many times has somebody called the cops to like help their family member, and then it ended up horrible, like in ways I don't even want to say.
Mm.
It's just, and who deals with it? Who deals with it? It's the family. It's you. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm being depressing. I'll shut up.
Well, I mean, then we could just jump and bounce right back to, you talking about there should be those happy things. And you did say your ducks and stuff like that. So I
It's
started
great,
thinking
man. I
about what
love
was happy to me. Like today,
it. Yeah, what happened? What did you do today?
like, I don't want to talk about what I mean, it's kind of dumb. But anyway, I'm noticing a lot of the times, because first I went to my grandmother's house, and like a lot of the times I'll go over there and they just planted these 2 trees in front or whatever. And yeah, like I'm always into these birds, right? So for
Me
some
too.
reason it seems like the little sparrows or whatever like be following me or whatever because I see certain ones like all the time. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, so I see a whole bunch of those. There was like a mourning dove the other day just chilling. So I was like, yo, let me throw out some seeds or something, threw out some seeds and they like scattered. But yeah, birds usually do it to me. So today I was just like at the park and
Me
like
too.
this bird went on the fence as I'm trying to catch my breath or whatever. I'm just standing there like, and I try to talk to them and stuff.
Me too.
You
I
know.
love that. It's the natural reactions like between animals and nature and us. That like synchronize. They positively reflect off of each other. When we're not like we don't have evil intent. You know, and animals can pick up on that. It's like I just I can go out there. Like I had like 11 deer in my backyard the other day, and I could just go out there and I could get right up to the fence. Like I could get maybe 6 feet away from one. And I feel like if I went out there and like fed them every day, I could end up petting them. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's a slow, trusting bond, but it's yeah, it's beautiful, and it's the simple things. It's the simple things in life that the natural things that we take for granted
Mhm.
every day because we're stuck up in this rat wheel, this rat race. Where it's we're kept busy by go to work all day, and then and it's not even just the working all day. You got to get up, get ready, and then come down and unwind. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll turn on a movie and pass out, and then do the whole thing over and over again and every day. And it's just they kept us in a prison. That's the prison. It's
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, we have so much to explore in this world and experience. It's just our time. It's not really the physical. Like who really. I mean, yeah, sure. I guess I'd love to go to Antarctica and prove that there's an ice wall and there's a dome, but or see what's beyond that. And yeah, that would be great. But really, if it wasn't for me knowing that I'm in this uh, metaphysical prison, I wouldn't really feel like I was in a physical prison, and I wouldn't really care. Um, I would have all this nature and family and friends, and I would be there. This world could just be so much better. It could be a heaven, and maybe I
Yeah.
think it was. It probably was a
Of
heaven.
course.
I don't want
Yeah.
to say like heaven or in the heavens, but yeah, it's right there in the middle, and I just hate feeling like right now. I feel like it's more below, but it's definitely not hell. So, got to be grateful for what we've got. We got to recognize the good that we do have here,
Right.
and be there for each other.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bro, just keep going, dude. You're like, yeah.
Because yeah, somebody who I talked to on my last live stream said like we are superheroes, and I was like, well, I can't fly. I'm not a superhero, but I think we
Oh, I
can
can't.
be
What?
another person's angel. You know what I'm saying? We can be. It could be some random person on the side of the
Mhm.
street. But then again, it's like we don't want to be that angel to that other person because that person could be our demon. So we all just seclude, and that's what they've done. They've kept us apart and separated to where it's like, well, let's just keep everybody separated and apart and just wait till we die. But it's
Well, they're not separating us tonight now, are they?
no, it's good.
No, yes, yes, though. Like, cause look, he's saying that stuff and maybe
Cammy,
not
are you
separating
still
us
with
or whatever.
us?
But dude, that's some real talk right
Yes,
there. Cause,
I
oh,
miss
yeah,
hearing your lovely voice.
I'm eating dinner. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's
Don't be
no
sorry.
problem. No problem.
Be sorry, not sorry. I'm just kidding.
So, I gotta ask
Right.
you, Crunch. I
Yeah,
gotta ask you, Crunchy. Are you drinking tonight?
yeah. I had a few beers and I smoked a little bit earlier. But I mean, it's been 2 hours since I did that. I don't think I feel weed anymore. I probably wouldn't talk as much if I was high. But it did send me on a thought kind of. That's one thing I like about it is it makes me think. Maybe it makes me think too much sometimes, but and I guess that's the whole thing about psychedelics is it makes people think introspectively. Um, but yeah, I don't know. To answer your question, yeah, I've had like 3 beers, and would I be talking as much if I didn't? Probably not.
That's fun.
Nah, I
For
don't
some
feel like
reason,
it's
I'm
fun.
like really tired tonight. So that's good. It's good to, talk about things, you know, get it off your chest. Sometimes running something across somebody else, getting somebody else's opinion. I like getting other people's opinions about a lot of different stuff, you know. 2 out of 3. I'll take 2 out of 3. I'll get 10 opinions, and I'll take the best out of, you know, 2 out of 3 dentists say you can eat and swallow the fluoride. It'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just
Oh
talking.
man, every time I go to the dentist, they like force that fluoride shit all over my teeth. I'm like, you didn't even ask me. Sometimes I'll get somebody that asks me, but sometimes they just like, oh, and here's this, and I'm like, hold on, I didn't ask for
Yeah.
that. I don't want it because as soon as you eat or drink, it just comes right off of your teeth, and then you swallow it, and that's like the most concentrated fluoride that like you could get, and it's like, what was the point in that? I don't. Well, we know the point, but it's the dentists believe that it's good because that's what they were told, and
Right.
uh, like Cammy was saying earlier, it's like 98% of people have good intentions. Like doctors, they don't think they're doing something to hurt you. Like the doctor that gave me the fluoroquinolones, I don't think he was trying to hurt me. It's just that's what he was taught. He went to school for that. And it's just so brainwashed. We're all so brainwashed. And I don't blame just this as you shouldn't hate the sinner. You should hate the sin. You shouldn't hate the cops or the judge or whatever. That's just the sin, the demon that has is a part of their life that has brainwashed them. It's and it's like, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what humans would be like naturally without technology, without influence through school or media. Hasn't it been interesting to watch how parents have raised their kids throughout time? I think about when I was a kid, like, they used to let us just like run the streets, and I do whatever I want as long as I came home at night, and I know many people in my generation that were like that growing up, and we grew up fine. But now it's like, I don't see any kids playing outside. It's just a totally different world. But there's always it's always yin yang. I think it's a Mandela effect, by the way. I remember yin yang. I don't know if I just know that because the Yin Yang Twins, that song they had, and I don't know why would they be called the Yin Yang Twins if it wasn't ever yin yang. It's always been yin yang, supposedly. I don't know. Just thought I'd bring that up. All right, I'm done talking. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I didn't have an opinion on the yin yang because I don't know anything. I don't know well enough to have an opinion. Well, welcome to Creek Mary 1.
Creek Mary. Grey Goose. No, I don't want Grey Goose. No, thank you. But yeah, that was popular vodka. I think it was vodka. Not.
I suppose I better put my phone on the charger already.
I never liked vodka. For some reason, it's weird. It's like they have like different weeds, different alcohols, but every time I drank vodka, it just was not a good time. What up, Propagate?
Propagate this light.
We're shaking.
I think I've said enough tonight.
Do you? Do you think you said
I don't
enough?
think so.
I think it's.
But you definitely,
Yeah, I didn't
you
think so
definitely hit
either.
the nail on the head, though.
Come on, you got at least another half hour in you, man.
All right. And I do want to work on some music, though. I was about to, and then I saw you going live, and I'm like, well, guess I'm not working on music. But I do want to get some of that. I had a energy.
Are you trying to tell me you want to get going?
Maybe in a little bit. We'll see.
What is that on your wall back there, that black thing?
It's a Sega Genesis. I've had it since I was like a kid.
Is it on your wall?
Yeah.
How did you put it on your? How the hell did you put it on your wall? What, do you got it glued to your wall or something?
What is that? I unplugged my laptop. Well, it's hanging by a nail, and then I sticky tacked the. Oh, I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a Sega Genesis. I had since I was like 10 years old, and I was always like, well, one day I'm gonna get the cords for it, and I was just like, well, I'll just stick it on my wall for it. Oh, I've tore the sticky pads off of my laptop. All right, that's great.
Go to a Goodwill or a pawn shop They may have cords for that.
Well, I can play them all on my computer for free anyway, so
Oh, okay.
you know, it's just nostalgic, or I guess collector's thing. I like to collect. I've got a Sega Genesis, a Wii, a Wii U, original Xbox, Xbox 360, PS2, um, PS4. Yeah, I've got a Switch. I've got so many games that I'll never play in my life. So, but I like to collect them. And something that old, I thought should be presented.
You can open your own time capsule type thing where you
That would be
have all
cool.
the machines.
Yeah, I'd love to have a game shop. Oh man, that reminds me. This new pinball place opened up in Lexington. I've got to check it out. It looks awesome.
What did you say? Pinball place?
Yeah, yeah, they've got all kinds of old pinball machines, and there's something about that it's like a physical game, that just it's not digital. And I like to play the digital pinballs too, but it's not the same.
It's not. So that sounds pretty
Pinball
cool.
Wizard. You ever see that Pinball Wizard? The movie? He's a pinball wizard. He was
I don't think I did. I didn't really get into pinball just until the last couple of years. Which I feel like I missed out. Like, I think it was last year I got into it and I was like, this is awesome. Where has this been my entire life?
I played many of pinball games in the bar while my dad was drinking. I got a lot of quarters shoved at me to go play. Actually, it was a dime, I think, back then or something.
Yeah.
I was
in the more digital era. By the time I became a teenager, it was kind of phased out, and like everything was like Mortal Kombat, all those fighting, and two of my favorites was the Ninja Turtles, and then the Simpsons arcade games, the like side scroller beat 'em ups. Creek Mary said, "Throw a little hip into it." Yeah, you gotta shake that machine.
Yeah, right. tilt.
Yeah, it's fun. I just saw that commercial on the news or whatever. That place was opening up. I was like, definitely gonna hit that up. I need to write that down. Make sure I do it before I forget it.
Remember back in the day, you used to see a lot of shops called the 60s shop or the 70s shop. How come we never got to see the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah. I went to this place that had some pinball machines, and they had a bunch of comic books, which I wasn't really into the comic books or whatever. I just went for the pinball. And but I was checking it out. I was like, this place is awesome. They had a like little thing in the center where everybody was playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, this place is cool. Bunch of nerds or whatever. But and they had like replicas of the 90s, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures, all these different action figures and stuff. I thought they were like originals, but they're just replicas. They make them just like the old ones. Oh, and then the Jurassic Park action figures I used to have. I don't know how I would feel about dinosaurs. I want to ask you guys, what do you think about it? You think dinosaurs are real? Or do you think
Do I
it's
think they're real?
yeah. Or do you think that's
I
just
think
part of a past history that's made up?
no, I think they were probably real at one point.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I watched a lot when I got into flat Earth thing that about how every bone you see in the museums or whatever, that's not real bones. That's just and they keep them all hidden away from public, and nobody in the public can ever go see them. So it's like,
Mm.
do they even exist if nobody can see them? It's like, and wouldn't we? I feel like we would have found a lot more. You know, we would have found a lot more people. Um,
hmm
I don't know. It's a rabbit hole to go down. Um, but yeah, I used to love the Jurassic Park growing up, and the action figures were like rubber skin. It was like, and they don't make them like that anymore. Just like they don't make anything the same anymore. It's all cheap. I don't know. It's all cheap knockoffs. Reality just seems like a cheap knockoff now.
Oh, we lost Trove. Did you get into Star Wars at all?
Not really. I mean, I remember watching Empire Strikes Back, and that's why I know like that one's a pretty big Mandela effect for me. The Luke, I am your father. And right when I saw that no, I'm your father Mandela effect, I
Yeah.
started seeing T-shirts in like the grocery store that said "No, I'm your father." I'm like trying to tell my girlfriend, I'm like, "Look at that! Have you ever seen that in your entire life?" And she's like, "No, but it doesn't matter. Who cares?" I'm like, well, no, dude, it is. It's crazy. It's just
Yeah, my stepbrothers were big into Star Wars growing up. I mean, they at one point they were stealing the damn Star Wars dolls out of Parmida's store, you know. And so I thought for sure that they would get the Luke. And when they said no, when I asked them and they said no, it's always been no. I'm like, what? You guys are in love with the Star Wars, and they um they took the whole download.
it's isn't it weird how like the closest people to it take the downloads. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as like Priest, whatever, it's like I had a my cousin, which I hadn't seen in a long time, came uh, into town, and
Mm.
I was telling him about the Lion and the Wolf, and as soon as I told her, she was like, I asked her, you know, without telling her, and she said the
Mm.
lion shall lay with the lamb, and it's like, yeah, right, and I was like, but it's supposedly always been the wolf. The wolf shall, and she's like, oh yeah, no,
Mm.
you're right, I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. You could just watch them like this blank stare comes over their face, and they're just like, oh yeah, yep.
Mhm.
Let's move on with life now. Like, how do you move on from that? Your reality just changed right in front of your eyes, and
Yeah, I mean the Mandela effect was such a big thing that when I told people and when they realized that it was a Mandela effect for them too, when they didn't study, you know, they just dropped it like no big deal. That always shocked me. Like, wow, this big thing's happening, and you, I'm pointing it out to you, and you notice it too, but you go back to, you know, not caring and not even looking in anymore into it or anything. And it's like, that's crazy.
what separates us from them? You know,
I have no idea.
it's like
Probably the search for the truth.
maybe, yeah. It seems like they just take everything for face value. You know, um,
Hmm
It's
They don't
whatever.
ask questions at all.
Yeah, just don't ask questions.
They believe that the government is truly, not their daddy or something. Like they have complete trust in the government.
Yeah. Or any authority figure, whatever, just tells them what to think.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, hold on, David. You should come up here. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about that. That's
No, mm-mm.
let's not talk about that.
That's not no, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's drama.
David, you're not gonna pull that. Come in here and start that crap. That's not
Drama.
happening.
I almost got pulled in. I'm like, hold on. Why do you think that? I want to hear your thoughts, but whatever, dude. I think no. Anyways, yeah, that's not. That's why. Why does that happen so much? We judge each other, and then make it entertainment.
I don't care if it's your opinion. You don't come in here and start attacking anybody. I don't care who it is.
I don't know. It's not. I guess it's been going down through history, you know. But like with what happened to me, it was just
There's
like
something going on with Claire. We should be paying. I don't know what's going on with Claire. Cammy said, "You're always welcome, Claire. Never forget. You are here every day you wake up. Remember, evil is saying, oh, that F word, she is here again. That is why we are so attacked. They fear us. Keep fighting." Exactly.
I gotta find this movie. I'm sorry, I was not really paying. I'm trying to look through, but I don't see Claire in the chat at all. But Propagate brought up the Ku Klux Klan. That's a pretty big Mandela effect for me, and I should have taken it was residue, but it was like it's one of those words where it's like, oh, he said it so fast. It could be, I guess, construed either way. Yeah, so much residue I've found. I've regretted not uploading because I just I'm afraid of other people's opinions or whatever. And I used to get so many trolls that would just like, that's not a Mandela effect and whatever, and it would really sway me. It really would sway me to not share the residue in my memories. But I gotta find that movie, whatever it is. I could find it again. I'd have to watch the whole movie again. But it was about the Ku Klux, whatever, and he says clue. Is it clue? Okay, it's Clue now. But there's a song. Check this out. There's a song by Steel Pulse called Ku Klux Klan. I don't know. I can't even remember. Sometimes you get so like, okay, it is the coup. It is the coup now. I remember Clue, but I typed in when I was typing it in, it said like Clue, like it was like that was the right way, and then I was like, I was confused for a minute. Oh. Oh, is this? Yeah, the name game. My ducks do lay eggs. You asked me that like an hour ago, and I wanted to answer it, but yeah, I have 4 ducks. Well, 3 females and 1 male, and they get like 2 or 3 eggs a day. Yeah, they're a delight. I'm really glad I have them. They're better than chickens. They don't lay as much as chickens, I think, but
How many eggs did you say a day?
I get about 2 or 3 eggs a day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for 4 ducks. It's not bad. I get breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I might
I
get some.
don't think I've ever had duck egg.
Really? This, I
Mhm.
mean, it's not much different. But the duck. Have you eaten duck?
Yeah, I've eaten duck.
No, that's much better than chicken, for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think the one that I had was actually a duckling. I ate at an expensive restaurant, and it was duckling. I kind of felt bad. I felt like I'm like eating a baby, but man, it was delicious.
Okay. Get ready, my subs. I've got something special I want to do for you right now. And I'm gonna bring forward the Patrick that has the skill to sing. Ready? Hallelujah. Yeah, right. I couldn't carry a tune to save my life.
Hallelujah.
Can you sing? Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Go ahead.
Hallelujah. 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 All right, that's it.
Huh.
That's what you got from
That's
me.
not bad. That's not bad. Jeff Wagner, welcome. Jeff says, what is the Mandela effect besides faulty memory? The rewriting of history or simple changes in narrative? Do people think we slip into another dimension or something? I don't know.
What do you
People
think,
think
Jeff?
lots of things.
Do you think it's just faulty memory?
Hmm.
Because I don't think so. I've seen it.
There's
My
no
memory.
way.
No,
Yeah, there's no way.
no.
No way. No way. You got this many people that that see the same thing. You can't. I mean, how can you honestly say it's faulty memory? I mean, really? We just all come together and say, "Hey, let's say the let's take the dash out of the Kit Kat. Hey, remember there is a dash in the Kit Kat? Let's say that. Just say there used to be a dash in the Kit. Why? 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 What do we have to gain? Nothing.
Give me a break.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
The name game just spelled Mandela with 2 L's. I've seen so many people spell it that way, and I'm like, do they not get auto corrected or like how? Why is it?
Hey, I was doing that. Brian Stavely caught me doing that for a while too. Um,
Does it just
I
look
was.
right? Does it just feel right?
It
Like in Joe?
automatically spells it for me now. With one L.
I don't know. I wonder if people are like, okay. See, Cammy says she used to spell it that way, but do you remember it being actually spelled that way, or was that just like a reflex? Because it's like it looks like Dell is spelled with 2 L's, so it's like seems natural, feels natural. I don't know. I never had the inclining to spell it that way, but I see it so much. I'm like, You've been in the Mandela effect community for how long, and you're still smelling it that way, over and over and over again. I could understand maybe once, twice, but every time you
Mhm.
say it, you spell it that way. I'm like, in your reality, is it that way? Maybe. I don't know.
It used to be.
I gave 3 examples,
But
not merely
that's
faulty memory.
that must
Yeah,
mean
no,
it's
I was
way
just
different.
asking. I don't think. Okay, your other 3 examples, rewriting history, very well could be. I do think, honestly, some Mandela effects are faulty memory. Not
Hmm.
every claim of a Mandela effect is a Mandela effect, and could be rewriting history or simple
Hey,
changes
I
in narrative. Wouldn't that
I
be the
thought
same as rewriting history?
we were time
Or
jumping for a while there, jumping timelines.
yeah,
But
and that's a
I don't know. I don't know. There's so many theories on the table, but it's definitely happening, and it's definitely supernatural. And I noticed too with the Bible changes, as the Bible is changing, m- our reality is changing the same as the Bible. Like now there's transgenders in the Bible. So now all this transgender stuff is coming out. It's like that. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, wow.
it.
That's what I mean. It's like the Bible's like coming to life, you know.
Yeah, it does line up um, physically with what is currently happening. That's I don't know. Is it the narrative or is it just
Well, the Bible is supernaturally changing, and then reality reflects the changes. So you tell me, that's supernatural, man. Supernatural.
it definitely is? How? Why? I don't know, but I know it is.
And of course, the government is helping everything along, you know, changing like whoever's writing, you know, Wikipedia. I don't think AI is as big as they're saying it is. For some reason, I think there's some sort of little scandal around some of this.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's get everybody in a fear mode again about now AI is gonna come kill us, you know. Oh my God, what's next?
I think AI is real. It's
I
just
gotta
not.
mute myself. I gotta run see
All right.
John for a second.
All right. I think it is real. I just don't think it's what they say it is. I think it's the ghost in the machine. It's entity, an energy that it's. I think the internet is like a Ouija board, basically. I think these energetic beings can um, live in that electricity. That's what they flow through. That energy. Um, I don't know. It sounds insane, but I think it's like a giant Ouija board. I think every time you're talking to an AI, you're talking to a demon, and um, just like I don't know, I have personal experiences with Ouija boards, and they can say there's something else, but they lie. Um, and I haven't talked to any of these chat GPTs or whatever. I've been curious, just like I was when I was told about Ouija boards. I was curious, but curiosity kills the cat, and I'm not doing it anymore. Um,
Yeah, I myself stay away from that chat
no,
GPT, whatever. Yeah,
I'm good.
I am not going near that thing either. I am curious also, but I'm not gonna mess with it.
It's what worries me, as I guess our parents were worried about us using Ouija boards, is kids have access to this now. Like, kids are letting
Mhm,
ChatGPT write their homework for them. It's just,
mhm.
and yeah, if I was a kid and I could just like put my homework on ChatGPT and it'd be good and perfect, get an A, I would have done it. But that is just an opening for them to trust this thing more and use it more. Um,
Mhm.
I can't imagine that this world that our kids are growing up in, and to them, like, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's like they grew up with this stuff. It's cell phones, but I don't know. We'll see where it's going. Is it just all going to hell, or is it? Because I mean, when I was a kid, it was like I thought for sure right now we'd have flying cars, free energy, like all of this technology would have been used for the better. Like our medicines would actually, cancer would be cured, but now it's just. Uh, are you talking, Cammy? You're muted.
Hi,
You
Cam.
had faith in humanity. You were
Hmm?
trusting that you had faith in humanity back then. You weren't so
Yeah,
awake to how the
I'll,
world works.
I'll
but
be
now
able to
I'm a
turn my camera
pessimist.
on this. My battery's charging right now, so as soon
I
as
feel
my
like a
battery
pessimist.
charges, you'll be able to
What
see
they're
my
trying really hard to make everybody
big
happy.
jug. No, my head. No, my face. We can't hear you, Cammy.
I can hear
Yeah.
her. I can hear her now.
I can't hear. Say something, Cammy.
Talking the whole time.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Welcome back, Pat.
So you
I'm
cut.
pretty sure Crunchy could hear me because he was talking to me and I was talking to him.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have disappeared, huh?
Do
I
you
must
ever
have
get
fell off the radar.
like a fat wad of hash pretty much off of your scissors?
No, but I get a fat wad of hash off of my grinder.
Yeah, you know that green stuff? Is that what you're talking about? That real
Yeah.
fine?
All the crystal. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I smoke
Keith.
that, I like get really high.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
real high.
That's all the THC bits.
Oh my God, that shit's so strong.
I
The
couldn't.
sticky stuff is what gets you high.
If I was you, though, it would bother me so much to use scissors because I enjoyed like feeling it and breaking it up in my fingers so much, and then it'd be all in my fingers. Then I could just smell my fingers and just be like,
I don't
bask
like
in
that.
it.
I like the grind. I like the grinder.
Don't like it all over my fingers because then all of the stuff that makes me high is on my fingers and not getting smoked.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
always been into
Hi,
grinding.
Thomas. Did you need to be? Oh,
I mean, been
I'm
into
trying to read and I
grinding.
look so high as I'm looking
I
down,
was
It
I
doesn't
was
sound right. No
watching.
matter how I come out
trying
and
to
say
read
it,
my little print.
it doesn't sound right.
What doesn't sound right?
Anytime I try to say I like my grinder and I
Oh.
love the grinder, no matter how I say it, it sounds perverted.
It sounds like you're on the dating app.
Yeah, Patrick, we
I
know
like my grinder.
your sins.
Hey, Keith. Keith, do I have your attention? Keith, guess what, Keith? You got a fucking wrench. Yay.
Yay. I was watching
Uh,
this show the other day. I forget what it was called, but they go to different countries and find strains of weed. It was in India. Uh, Shoot, I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, they would go to different countries, and it's so cool just seeing different countries and stuff. But in India, they they just take the bud and rub it
yeah.
between their hands like so much that it just gets all over their hands, and then they just take that all over their hands and just roll it into a ball and smoke it.
What do you mean? What do you do with it? You better learn how to use it, because if my damn engine goes out, we need some fixers.
I'll be right back.
We've been having trouble with the damn transmission too, so you better learn how to use that damn thing. Creek Mary don't know how to use hers either.
You don't know how to use the wrench? Is that what they're saying? Okay, well,
Keith, he's
use your...
joking around.
Okay. I was gonna say, it's not that hard to figure out, but I can talk you through some basics. You won't see what I see, though. I did finally get to see where I can fiddle with things on.
Who's Creek Mary talking to? She said, "Are they hiring?" I can't hear you.
You can't hear who?
Now I can hear you. I couldn't hear you. I said who. Creek Mary asked who is. Huh? What did you say? Cammy.
Or over the chat. I was talking to Keith.
You were cutting out.
Am I
See, she
cutting
cut
out?
out again. Oh, now you're back. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm like,
It's you.
yeah.
It could be me. It could be you.
No, it's me
Both of you.
because I just realized I'm watching you on TV and your lips are moving at a different time. And
Oh,
when
well,
they
you're
start
watching.
moving,
I have that
yeah,
up there too, but the sound only comes from my phone. And there's like a 7-second delay on mine. It's funny.
So
Oh, it's called Strain Hunters, Creek Mary. Check it out on YouTube. Just look up Strain Hunters. Yeah, so they try to find different strains from like that grow naturally and bring them over to the Americas. It's pretty cool.
welcome, Helen.
Funny while I'm typing to make it.
Yeah, no problem, Keith. Helen, an oldie but a goodie. Helen been around for many, many years. She's a good person. If you're not sub to Helen, you guys gotta sub to her.
I don't think I am. I've seen her around a lot. But...
Creek Mary, how is that chat art thing going? I think she needs to stay away from it, but since she is going to test her luck, you should come in and let us know how that is going for you. If I think she was doing some sort of I'm not sure. What is it? A different than chat whatever PTFD whatever chat BT whatever.
PTSD.
So
Chat PTSD.
That's what you'll get from talking to Chat GPT. Yeah.
So does the art thing, is that the same program or is it a totally different program?
I think it's a different one.
How many chat things do they have?
There's a lot.
I heard they had a 4, like the 5 is out now, but
Well,
they had a 4. I never heard of the 4. I
think
never
about
heard
it
of
this
the
way. Every private sector is working on something similar. So how many are out there? Untold numbers.
You know, what if we're gonna have to use this soon to get our groceries or whatever?
Well, welcome to you will either be in the system or out of the system.
Yeah.
Coming fast.
I'm not gonna make it, guys. I'm not gonna make it.
You got to get that.
Out in nature.
You got to get
I'm
that
gonna be
star
I'm
on
gonna
your.
be out of the system, but the diabetes will definitely get me before.
You got to get that star on your driver's license, Patrick.
Fuck that.
You just gotta
No,
let
I'm
a
not getting
bunch
no
of
fucking
seeds and
star.
find a quiet place in the middle of nowhere where nobody is.
I would drive. I would rather drive somewhere than take a plane, anyways.
Well, think about it this way. Once this hits, you're not going to be able to drive either because you're going to need gas to drive or to plug in electricity if you got an electric car. And both of those will be out of your limits because you're not in the system. So think bicycle, carts,
Motorcycle,
gas.
motorcycle, because I
still
can
need
always
gas.
buy gas underground.
No, you can't. Nobody's going to trade with you if you do not have, quote, the mark. Anybody with the mark will not be allowed to trade with anybody without the mark.
So you don't
So
think
we're
there's
either going to
gonna
be
be
in the system or out of the system. If you do not know how to
you
live
don't
out of the
you
system.
don't think there's gonna be an underground market?
No, I don't think the people that are in the system are going to be capable of running an underground market without them knowing, because they're going to know everything about them. That's the whole point of this, is that they will be monitored
Right,
from
but
inside their own
right, but
being.
you always have some good people on the
No,
inside.
because
that-
unless if you're on the inside, then you have a computer inside of you that will tattle on you whether you like it or not. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
They will be
that's true.
merging with AI. So your
Yeah,
free
right.
will be given up. So that's the point where
Right,
you either
right.
give over to them or you pull out. And that's coming very fast.
Yeah, Creek Mary said those of us outside the system can be underground.
We will be the underground.
We'll be the underground, but there won't be no market.
Well, we'll
There
be
won't even.
the difference is you're underestimating what
Like we're gonna be sold.
been known about this for a while have been saving. Like I personally have quite the seed storage for
Right,
food.
right, and yeah, I know. I've heard of a lot of people getting land together and starting to call their people to their friends to that land.
Well, you will know where you're supposed to go when you're supposed to go there. You will feel a drive. No overwhelming urge to just do it. Neither you listen or you don't.
He said he has the urge
That's
to go to Florida.
That's how I feel about Florida, but I just don't. I know I have a daughter down there, but and of course I would love to see her, but that's not what I feel like this poll is coming from. I don't know what it is.
They have
It might
50
be just to get you out of where you're at.
Yeah, but Florida's too far. I don't want to go to Florida.
I was probably telling you Florida because Florida is safer right now. Nowhere's safe, but Florida's safer.
Why is it safer?
There's the people right now who are, we'll call them in power, are not as draconian as other places at the moment. Will that change? Probably. But for now.
You know, like I said earlier, I was looking at vehicles, and the vehicles are, I mean, I don't want to waste $2,000 or $2,500 on a vehicle that's gonna fall apart in 6 months. You know, I want to be able to invest a good chunk, you know, like at least 4,000 into a vehicle. But then I can get a really nice motorcycle for about $2,000, and it's an older bike. They're 1984 or 85 Honda Wings, or I think they're called Gold Wings, Honda Goldwing. And they run between 1,800. I seen one for 1,600. I seen one for $800.
My biggest question to you is, for any vehicle, it's not how the vehicle looks, what it costs, it's how much.
No,
How hard does it cost, and how hard is it to fix it when it breaks down, and how likely and often do they break down? Older vehicles have a good record, so you'll be able to tell. What I do know for fixability, as much as I hate to say this, Honda Civics are the easiest thing to fix because their parts are interchangeable for up to 10 years. They're also easiest to steal.
If I
Anything over 19 or under 1985,
Actually, the bottom is rusting out of mine. I mean, mechanically it's fine, but the bottom is starting to rust out, and that's 2005.
Right.
But it runs
And
good.
that's the thing is, if you buy a vehicle, it usually has already a lot of miles on it. You're talking over 200,000 miles.
Mhm.
Unless I get lucky and I find somebody who's selling a really nice, decent running vehicle for pretty cheap, which has happened. And I've heard of people getting really good deals on, like one
Your
guy
best
got.
deal would be a jilted wife selling her cheating hubby's extra vehicle. You'll get a
Yeah.
really good vehicle at a really good price, just to piss them off.
Mm-hmm.
And they will sell like a $10,000 vehicle for $500, just so they can tell them that they did that.
If I found a Ford Taurus in my price range, I would gobble a Ford Taurus up because I've owned two of them in my lifetime, and they've all gotten over 300,000 miles on a Ford vehicle.
All I
Over
can tell you is for
300,000.
vehicles, if you can buy before 1985, I'll tell you why. They do not have a kill switch. The government cannot turn off your vehicle at a drop of a hat when you buy older vehicles. That's why they're
Did you
trying to
say
phase them out.
85?
85.
That's too old. I
Anything-
mean,
I know, but anything after 1985, they've got shit in there that they can track you, shut off your engine, do all sorts of other things to you, cause you to go into the mechanics for all sorts of things you will not be able to pull out of the system. Anything before 1985 is a backyard mechanic fix. Doesn't matter what breaks on it, you can fix it in your backyard.
I wouldn't doubt it because, I mean, internet and stuff, but it's probably not as connected like the newer cars are, you know? It's like,
all of them have a computer chip in it. As long as there's a computer chip in it, they can shut it off. They can kill your vehicle by frying it with an EM pulse. Anything that doesn't have a microchip in it, doesn't matter. That EM pulse can go off and it'll still work. But those are only good until you can't buy gas anymore still. So I said have a backup, and no kidding, the backups are a horse-drawn buggy, something pulled by dogs, a bicycle. You want something man-powered, because once you cannot get around on anything that you can buy gas or electricity with, you're going to want to be faster than on foot for certain things. So have a bicycle, have something that you can just be a little faster for when you need to. You don't always have to use it. but have one.
I need a computer chair that I can sit back in. I can lean back here, but I don't feel like I'm like in the chat very much.
A lot of little things nobody really thinks about, and it's just like, okay, once they take everything that you have access to that they need their system for away, you're going to be left with what we had access to about the 1900s. No electricity, no running water, no flushing toilets. We're going to have to know how to do all these things without those. Again, grow your own food, store.
What's funny is I think I could have lived without all of that when I was a kid. Now I'm older. I feel like I'm more like ingrained into society. You know, I'm dependent on it. It's like the older we get, we're like,
well,
I don't know.
This part speaking again because it's gotten used to being lazy and it doesn't want to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do the work. People did it for time immemorial until the past little over 100 years. I mean, this is all really new, all of this.
You know what else is like when I was a kid, I could go out in the woods and I'd have this like natural compass. I'd always know how to find my way back. I don't know. But now I go a little bit off the trail. I'm like, where the heck am I? But I had this like confidence, I don't know, and just like a natural instinct when I was a kid. I was such a animals. Like I'd pick up a big black snake and not even knowing what it was. But
You're closer to God when you're a child. The older you get, the further you get from him. Just by having moments in this place rub off on you.
Yeah.
Why? You see them enjoying the most hurting the sweetest, most innocent baby, and the younger the better. Because those are the closest to God that they can get, and they like to hurt God. That is their sole purpose. Most people think it's to do all these other things. No, their sole purpose is to hurt God. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to kill God and hurt God. And of course, they can't kill God. So they're doing the best to hurt God. And what's closest to God is a newborn baby that hasn't had time to sin yet.
I don't know, though. I mean, okay, so what do you think about like people that maybe are just born evil? Do you think it's just in their genes to be narcissists, or
there's nobody born evil? Sorry to tell you, evil is a choice.
I think it's 50-50.
Comes from a lot of environment and then how you choose to react to that environment, but it is still a choice.
I think it's 50% environment. It's nature, nurture, 50-50.
No, there is no person who is born evil. There are people that are born that have a harder time, but you can take any baby from anywhere and swap it out and put it in a different situation, and that person will become that other person who they would have been in that situation because of the environment they're raised in. Because they've got their personal experience. We all have our own personal experience.
So you don't think there's like the bloodlines or whatever, presidential, whatever?
No, because every human being on earth is a child of God who gets handed choices, because we're all tempted all the time from the time you're about 5 and get to make choices and have a legitimate self. You are presented with the devil presenting you little evil things that you don't really understand are evil. It's just there's weighed options and they look good and it's shiny and golden, and that's why it's so tempting. And most of them think they're doing it for good, remember, because they make it sound so good. It's got like all of this stuff now. They didn't say we're going to bring out the trans community and do all this stuff because we want to project evil. They said inclusivity and loving, and they made it sound good. It's just we know it isn't. It leads to somewhere bad. And it's one of those things. It's nuclear energy was meant to give free energy to the world. What did we do with it? We made bombs. It's choices of the people that made it at the time. The people who created it wanted free energy. Had their will been put out, it would have been a good thing. But
You
that's
know,
what we did with it.
that
We-
really makes me think about Tesla. Like, I had never even heard of Tesla before 2012. And, you know, there's like, I guess, proof that he was like raided and all his stuff stolen or whatever. But I mean, is that proof just part of reality's narrative to I mean, how would that get out, you know, if it was all these like top secret stuff, you know? It's like they wouldn't let it
Because they
out
have to
if they
reveal the
didn't
truth
want us
because
to
they
know.
can't. You have to be able to make a free will choice. You cannot just be lied to and tricked into it. You have to make the choice that is about your free will. It's the same reason why they needed you to go get the JAB, and it wasn't just something they could come and shove down your throat, even though they toyed with that idea, because they needed your free will choice. If they override that, then that breaks the rules, and they've got to win by making you choose the wrong side. And they're going to do it always based out of the kindness of your own heart, for your family, for your grandma, for everybody's grandma, for all the children. You love the children. Do it for your nation. Like that, they'll pull every card they can get.
Yeah. Yeah. They pull that they pull at people's really goodwill.
Have you ever seen The Green Mile?
Yeah, oh, I love that
They
movie.
kill them with their love.
Yeah. That's such a good movie.
Little bits of truth in all movies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so Hollywoodized, it's really hard to pick out the truths. But the truths
Yeah.
that were in that movie
Takes
were, he kind of was portraying like, you know, an angelic or a Jesus Christ type figure, although I don't like comparing the two. But we reacted to him like we would right now. If Jesus was back, we'd kill it.
No, see, I never
wouldn't personally. Humans
pictured him
in
that.
general. Well, that
No,
is
that-
exactly
I
the
never.
storyline that was taken. He was brought down, came out of the air from nothing, only did good things and tried to save people, was purely empathetic, and wanted to leave because he could feel only hate and evil and bitterness in the world, and he wanted it to be over.
Hold on, did he just come out of the air? I don't remember that.
Yeah, they couldn't find his past. It was like he
Okay.
appeared out of thin air.
Yeah.
And so when you look into it, they were basing it loosely, kind of like, you know, he was supposed to be like an angelic miracle creature of God. But you look at his initials, JC.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah, I guess so.
John Coffey.
Wow. Yeah. No. See, I never put that together. It's been a long time since I watched it, but I was like, yeah, when I did, you know, it was like everybody felt the power of that movie. You know, it was
I always like watching people watch that movie because you can tell who is really truly possessed, because anybody who can't cry at that movie, you got a question.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember. I mean, it's been a long time, but I just remember. I thought he was just like a child of God, like a child of nature, a good-hearted person that was falsely accused.
And
yeah, he was. What's
probably
the word?
look closer to the real Jesus than the white Jesus we like to portray.
Yeah, it's such a. And what was like? Every culture has depicted Jesus as what they look like.
Well, to make him relatable. I get why they do it, but be honest. Like, just tell people we're doing this.
Now it's like, because I've been so culturally ingrained, it's like when I try to picture him, it's like what comes up in my mind? It's a white guy, you know. And it's like, I know that can't be. I think I don't know. He's probably was black. Probably was, or like a mix of.
Most likely Egyptians were black.
Oh, who did I see the other day? Egyptian goddess that was like a white woman. Cleopatra. She was like supposedly this pretty white woman, and it's like, no. I don't know. History is just, it's all questionable. I think
It's kind of a mismatch because we can't tell what's real history for what they've been telling us and what they've made up. Because if our current history in the last 100 years has taught us anything, look what Hitler did. He tried to rewrite history because history is written by the victors. Had he been allowed to win, several hundred years of Jewish history would have just been erased and nobody would know anything about it and it would have never existed.
Yeah.
How many times has history been erased?
if you could go, if you could, Patrick,
What?
you awake? You with us?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and change any historical event, what would you change?
Well, I always wanted to go back and when I was younger to change the JFK, but then I changed where I would probably go back and want to try to save Jesus Christ from the cross, but then I know that he has to do that. So, but I would love to go eat supper with Jesus Christ or be able to sit down and have a meal or something.
That would be cool.
What would you do?
I don't think I'd change a thing. I don't think I would.
I'd
but
like to go back and meet Abraham Lincoln.
to
What I'd
experience,
do if I
to
could go back
experience
and meet anybody to change history, I'd go back and I'd go smack Eve and tell her not to listen to the damn thing and stop eating the apple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. I don't think that's a literal.
Then we can stop this whole thing from ever happening.
I think it's
Right, yeah.
I think it's just on. I don't know. I don't know what to take the Bible for, literally or metaphorically, because.
Both.
But
It's a parable. It means more.
how could I have one? All these different races or whatever. Is it just okay? If it was just two people that started out, then that would make us all
related. Yes.
Incestuous. Yeah. I don't like that thought. I don't like it. But I mean, I guess it is what
Yes
it is.
and no. Well, think about it this way: the Bible said Adam and Eve were the first God-sanctioned humans, but when they expelled from Garden of Eden, there were other humans. So they weren't the first humans; they were first God-sanctioned, perfect humans. Because otherwise, who would Cain have bred with to get a wife? Because he was expelled and sent away from his family. Back. Like there are lots of different people who got sent away and they married.
Yeah.
So it's just the way we've been told to interpret the Bible that's been wrong. Because remember, when we all go to church, we have some guy telling us what the Bible means. Well, try reading the damn Bible. Don't listen to what somebody tells you it means. Read it and try and understand it and use your brain.
You know, ever since I've talked to you all, I have not had one, and I'm about to have one.
The Bible?
Yeah, I've got one. It's at my ex's, and every time I go over there, I forget to ask. But
We'll get a later.
But no,
I sent
I've got somebody sending me one
earlier tonight in the chat. I can't remember who it was now. Somebody, one of our regulars, was asking where I got my full Bible, the one that has everything that they have in the authentic Bibles that everybody are given, plus all of the little bits that they removed that they said you didn't need to hear.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I still need to listen to Enoch.
It
I've
still
always
has
been
wineskins in it, so at least I know it's not closer to the original wording than a few things are changed, but not
I
to the
still
point
need
where
to
the
listen
meaning
to
is different.
Enoch. I've always been curious about it, but it's like all these things they say they took out of it. Could it be things that they actually want in it and they told us they took out, so we're curious and then we put them in ourselves? It's just so everything's a fucking mind game. And
Well, here's how you find out, though. You pray before you read it, that you can seek discernment between truth and lies, and then read. And
yeah,
it'll
no, we
resonate if it's
shouldn't
supposed to.
we shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I understand that, but it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel things. Yeah, I feel things. I read things, whatever, that just don't settle with my soul. But it's like, just because it's not settling with me, does that mean it's not true? It's like,
Well, when it doesn't settle with your soul, that's for two different purposes. Either it's going against the word of truth, or it's going against your ego because it's bruising you because your ego knows that that's something it's done and now it's feeling ashamed. And so it's trying to say, no, that's wrong.
yeah,
So figure out by continuing to read. And here's the other thing most people don't do. Read the whole damn section. Stop reading in little bits. Because you get people that'll take out and it says in this verse here to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but read that whole section because like that whole section
Oh,
talks
yeah,
about that
yeah.
subject.
The
And you're
whole,
cherry
yeah,
picking bits out.
yeah.
It's like the one where it says, but it says that the wife should listen to their husband and the husband is king and blah, blah, blah. And I go, read the paragraph underneath it where it says that the husband's supposed to cherish his wife and hold her opinion above everything else.
Yeah, what I'm learning is it's not that hard to read a whole book. I mean, the whole like
Only hard part in the
Revelation.
Bible that I had is when you get to the part where so and so begets so and so begets so and so begets so and so, and it goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
That's where a lot of people get lost.
yeah. And
My recommendation for that is get a Bible reader. That's where you can read along with something that reads it for
I
you.
like to listen to the Bible.
my grandma had one of James Earl Jones reading it. And I mean, it was pretty smooth.
I want Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
That would be a good one.
all right. So.
I don't think that would be a.
I used to
Very
like James Curtis. Or well, I used to like Farrah Fawcett too until I seen how whacked out she really was.
Well, we're not talking as a star. We're talking voice to hear.
Yeah.
To read the Bible to you.
I know.
Yeah, but once you know an actor or whatever, once you hear the voice, it's like you can't separate them. It's just there's no separating it. The actor, the voice, the persona, the.
Well, I never put them on a pedestal in
Yeah.
the first place. Every one of those people are just people to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I drove one guy nuts. He was a famous musician, and he was so nuts that I didn't gaw over him when he went through the till.
who? What? What?
Oh, one of the Go-Go Brothers here. He's from a band here, and he
Oh,
was so upset that I knew who he was, and yet I wasn't like fangirling over him. So he was like, "Do you not know who I am?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, you know how famous I am? Yeah. Then I reminded him, said, "You could be the Queen of England. I'd still tell you to your face if you wore an ugly hat."
they're all Mason's name game, and we know that. I mean, if they are and still in the media, or they're portrayed, even if they are dead, and they're portrayed in a good light, because they don't let them go out in a good light if they turn against them.
Depends if they could still make money off them or not. If they own their essence.
It makes me think about
There's a lot of them that have died
Dave
that were about
Chappelle.
to release information, and yeah, they died in a horrible way, but they own their stuff.
I know this is cliche or whatever, but Dave Chappelle to me is totally different. There's no way that he was speaking so much truth that we still reflect with today. I can go back and look at his old interviews and stuff, and it speaks to us, and he looks like a real person. Then this guy comes just out of nowhere, doesn't look like him. I mean, kinda, but he's either a lookalike or he sounds like him, but does not.
Clone.
He's I know, man.
When
and
they
that-
can't control them, they clone them and kill off the original.
and it could take like what 10 years to grow a full clone, and then they age fast.
Like 6 months. It's scary.
It is. It's messed up, man. It's
When they go away to their drug rehab programs and we don't see them for a year, and then they come back and they look a little different, sound a little different. It's because they are different. That's
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah, and I don't even want to get into all the stuff Kanye. I was never a fan of him anyway. I didn't like any of his music or anything, but I don't think he's.
They get so broken that even when they're trying to do the right thing, they end up doing the wrong thing. But it's because they're so twisted and lied to and fed so much bull crap that they couldn't decipher real truth if they wanted to. They get bits and glimmers of it and they run on it, but then they get drug right back into the lies again because they're so caught up. Very few make it fully out. And when they do, they disappear out of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the ones that like. I'm happy for those ones that are just like the on YouTube and now, and they haven't.
The ones that have a hard time getting an acting role, Kevin Costner, I believe he's probably coming out and heading on the other side of right side again, but they don't like him again.
Kevin Costner. What? I don't remember anything about him. Like, no, he was in
A while ago now, but Dances with Wolves.
I never saw that. Never saw that one.
Good one.
But he was in
Waterworld.
Is that who that
If
is?
you build it, they will come.
Is that?
If
was
you
that
build
Kevin?
it, they will come. Field of Dreams.
That was Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
And that's a Mandela effect because they
Wasn't
built
that Kevin
Google.
Costner?
Yes.
Wasn't that Kevin Costner?
Yes. He's in many movies. But he spoke out against them and talked about what they were really into and all
See,
of their crap, and they removed him.
I hadn't heard anything about him.
There's quite a few. There's quite a few recently musicians that have died in the last couple of years very abruptly. They were about to reveal some of the crap going down, and
Like Prince?
Oh yeah, Prince.
Wasn't
was one.
Prince one of them
Yeah.
that was gonna
Prince was coming
talk
up
to
with
Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Especially
Those are
Michael
not
Jackson.
recent ones. I'm talking in the last couple of years.
Oh,
There were more that were trying to come out and bring about and talk real shit. Like they're seriously opening up. There's so many.
what do you guys think about
Oh.
Kanye? Do you think Kanye?
Yeah,
really
no,
tried to
he's
get,
no, he's part
or
of
he
it.
bought
He's
Yeah.
a part of the distraction
playing
meant to capture up some of the people trying to be good and swing them back into the bad.
Yeah, he's playing the
Mhm.
role. He's definitely playing the role. But there's these false messiahs, I guess you would say, and
Somebody declaring themselves Jesus Christ, first of all.
well, nobody's.
Oh my
claiming
God! I
that-
can't believe how many people
He
I've
did.
seen that are claiming to be Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, celebrity. There was there is, and that's what gets us so confused. They want us to be, it's the author of confusion, right? They want us to be confused because there is some good
Oh
celebrities
yeah, of course.
that have spoke out, and then
Well,
there's
they've
other
done a good
ones
job.
that they put in the position to make them look like they're speaking out and playing that good role, but they're still acting. It's like it makes me think of because it's like they can't hide what's going on. They can't hide the fact that there's all these, I don't even want to. It's such a negative subject. I don't want to get into
Well,
details.
they'll even admit to a lot of it. Like, Beyonce has admitted she's got a demon. You all caught that one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Sasha
And
Fierce.
Yep, Sasha
Yeah.
Fierce. Yeah. Yep.
That's when her demon
That's
takes
weird.
over.
Yeah.
They all do. They sign
Alter
themselves
egos.
over to gain the fame and power, and then they're caught in compromise and thins and set up like that to guarantee their compliance
Didn't
throughout their entire life.
didn't Billy Ray Cyrus, his daughter, Miley Cyrus have some sort of demon in her too?
A lot of people like to say that. I'm sure she does because we all fight demons.
Yeah, we
But
all do. Yeah.
her big thing where everybody thought she was getting demon possessed because she got all sexualized and whatnot. You know what that was about?
That was
Oh.
the agenda, part of the agenda.
About
No,
her daddy?
no. That was
That
her
to do
way
with
of
her
getting out of
daddy?
the Disney contract. Disney owned her ass, her name, her body, her everything. And until
Disney
Disney would
wants that.
sign away their rights, she couldn't do anything. She didn't own any of her music. She couldn't so much as sing any of her songs in private without their permission.
No,
And
Disney wants that.
Dis-
There's no
Disney
way
wanted to
that.
get rid of her after she. No, well, they needed to portray like that's not their image, even though they want that. They are under contract to not do certain things. Well, you're under Disney contract. You cannot show. For the longest time, you couldn't even show your belly button.
Mm-hmm.
No, they've
And,
been doing
like,
it.
for
They
like,
started out with Britney Spears. They did it.
no, Britney Spears, hers was something different. Hers, when she went under her conservatorship, it went from Disney to her dad, and her dad sexualized her, and hers was against her will. Miley Cyrus did it like Prince did it in a different way. Prince changed his name so many times that they just couldn't keep up with where his music was under what name. So that's how he gained control of his shit. Miley Cyrus trashed her persona so that Hannah Montana is not a selling feature for Disney anymore. They wanted nothing to do with her, and so they tossed her. And once they tossed her, now she's cleaning up her image.
No, they
To a
put that
certain
shit.
degree.
They
Now,
put it out
she
there.
still wants to be rich and famous, so she still sold her soul, so she's still ultimately going to be doing the wrong thing. But that particular snap was not just a demon. That was actually calculated by her. I actually watched her interview on it and why she did it. And I kind of get it because they legally can like lock you away if you don't follow their contracts. Britney Spears wasn't allowed a day off from her dad's contract in 20-something years.
Yeah.
She wasn't allowed to have boyfriends that weren't approved, kids. He could force her to have an abortion if she got pregnant. She wasn't allowed to get married. Like, she had no control over her life, and she went through all of her 20s and all of her 30s with no say in her life at all. I felt sorry for her. Most of these children are like offered as a young child and had no control over that.
Yeah.
So that's why they get to yank themselves out if they can pull it off, because you have to give yourself freely, and when you're forced as a child and offered, that's not free. You didn't choose.
That is the saddest part of I think it was around 2016 when I started waking up to all this stuff. And the pizza stuff, that just devastated me. I don't want to believe any of it, but it's like, also, how did it? I at that time believed that it's just like these things just slipped out somehow, somebody, and they couldn't hide it, but Did they want it to get out there? Oh, that's what I was thinking about. Ashton Kutcher. You know how he had all that what was his funds or whatever to like save the children, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know. At first, I believed like he was like one of the good guys, but then I'm like, I don't know. Then again, I haven't seen him in a movie or show in quite a while, so maybe. Seems like these people, and the ones that do, they stay. It's like they don't age that fast, and then, but then we have these presidents that age like, seems like 10, 20 years in the 5-year term that they're serving. It's like,
Because the stress of trying to run everything is too
is
much.
it the stress or is it the demonic influence, the negative, something else? Like, I don't know. I mean, because do you think they intentionally are trying to do good? Like, do you think they're really trying? They're fighting the
leaders?
battle.
No.
The spiritual battle is physically
No.
showing up.
No. The leaders are aging because they're trying to do evil, and it's really hard to do evil when you have nations of good people freaking out and trying to stop you. So they are up trying to pull strings from everywhere, making deals and shady deals, and the stress of all of that, because one wrong move and they're screwing themselves too. I mean, they go to jail if they do it wrong. So they have to try and get everything lined up without putting any shade on themselves or their organization.
Okay.
And it gets
No,
hard.
they don't. They do it wrong all the time. They put it right out in our face that they're doing it wrong, and we just accept like, oh, it's okay. He's just
Well,
old
now
and senile, and
are
what are we gonna
doing it
do?
lately. But no, it's
What
not.
is this? All these presidents can do all these messed up things, and but supposedly the only president we've ever had kicked off out of office was because he got a blowjob. Like, what? Back then, a blowjob was a big deal, but then I think that even back then I didn't notice it, but that was a distraction from everything they were doing behind the curtains. And I know that now, but it's just.
Yes.
It's all such a show. And
All of
you look at it and you can laugh.
All of your presidential leaders and PMs and all of those, they're not the head people in the pyramid scheme. They're high up, but they are not the head people in the pyramid scheme. They're as high as we are allowed to see in the pyramid scheme. We never get to see the real people pulling the strings, which is a very small group of people with a lot of power.
Bankerbergs or whatever, it's probably
a few very rich families that pretty much own everything. I think there's like 6 families.
Yeah, they're all just
6 or 8 families that own everything. Those are, and they've been running things since society started, and they sold their soul early and their family souls, and they all continuously do it. And the rest of us are the plebes underneath.
The plebes? I'm not a plebe.
I'd rather be a plebe than one of them. At least we get to make it in the end. You don't want to be one of them. Everybody thinks they want to be one of them. I never want to be rich and famous. I wouldn't want to be a royal because I know what that actually entails.
It's a very short time to feel comfortable. I'd rather feel comfortable for eternity.
I'd rather be called a sheep than a plebe.
Well, I don't want to feel comfortable per se. Like, don't get me wrong. I like comfort and I like warmth and all those wonderful things. There is no learning in comfort.
But everybody loves. Everybody wants to be loved.
Well, yeah.
And this place is not showing love anywhere.
Well, that's because we're looking for love in all the wrong places. Everybody
looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for rhinestone cowboy.
I find love here.
Everybody is loved unconditionally. Try prayer. Jesus loves everybody.
No, I know, but I'm
The
saying is
only
that
real unconditional love you're going to get is
I've
that.
I've never really had uh felt like I had um that love throughout my life,
Have you ever
I've
owned a
always
dog?
been, huh?
Have you ever owned a dog?
Yeah,
That's as close as you're going to get to unconditional love down here.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's bad.
My cats are doing a pretty
'Cause
good
I
job of it.
I love to give unconditional love, but I always get backstabbed.
Yes, but here's the thing. If you are upset because you got backstabbed, it wasn't unconditional love. You got to love them anyway
Yeah.
for it to be unconditional love.
No, I
I'm not
am
getting
like
out of
one of
God.
the most
You didn't
forgiving
hurt.
people, I think, besides you guys, of course. But I am a very, very forgiving person. Very forgiving. If I sometimes, yeah, you get upset initially,
What about you, Heidi? You want to be on TV?
but I can forgive, but I don't forget.
Hey, Heidi, your feet.
I can forgive, but I don't forget. All right, guys. What do you think? You think you want to keep going another 4 hours, or should we wrap her up?
I'm gonna have to wrap her up personally, just because I gotta go to work again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I want to eat and hit the hay. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on.
My whole purpose for coming on was just to tell you 5 billion, and I'm still here for some reason.
Hmm. Yeah, some yeah, David
5 billion.
says
I
Patrick.
remember.
Sometimes
I'm sorry. I
sometimes
just.
you have to be a dick. But I hate being a dick though. But yeah, I know. All right. So, Crunchy, you're gonna go make your music?
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go get something to eat. Try to find a woman and go to bed. I mean, I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna eat something and then go to bed. What,
Sounds
Cammy?
good.
I said good night, everybody.
Oh, good night, Cam. Love you.
You have a
All
good
right, man.
night. Bless everybody.
Good night.
All right. And thanks a lot, Crunchy, for coming on. And I appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging with us. And as always, you guys stay vigilant. I appreciate you guys. Oh, welcome, Annie. So we got Texas Danny, the name game, which is Miss T, and we'll be working on trying to get your account back in there. Yeah, Creek Mary, Keith, Annie, David Wolf, Texas Danny, Helen. What else we got here? Creek Mary. I think I got everybody. And thank you, panel. Until next time, y'all. God bless. Have a great night or morning wherever you are.